All right, everybody. Good, still morning, 10:39 on our Sunday morning. I'm Tampa Bay Chief Meteorologist Bobby Deskins here in the Weather Center with meteorologist Natalie Ferrari right here as well.
Good morning.
And we are tracking the showers and storms that are headed our way. We have a couple things going on, okay? Let me just get you right over here to the radar. There's the radar. You can see Hernando and Citrus have already seen some of the storms, and they're actually pretty good storms exiting Citrus County now. But here's the big line coming in for Pinellas, Pasco, Hernando, Citrus County, eventually into Hillsborough County. Let's back up. I want to show you we have a severe thunderstorm watch in effect until 4 o'clock today for our entire viewing area. Severe thunderstorm warning over there in Orlando at this particular point, and that orange box you see just offshore of Hernando and Citrus, that's a marine warning. So that's all ahead of the line of showers and storms coming through. Here's the bigger picture. And you can see we've got a wet afternoon in store for us. Now, yesterday we had winds in the 55 to 60 mile per hour range. In fact, a little bit above 60. We had some damage in the Bradenton area. Some pretty good damage, too. It was straight line winds. I did see some estimates on our radar in the 80 mile per hour range yesterday in that area. What we're thinking today is the best threat for severe weather would be straight line winds again. It may sound loud. It may sound like a tornado. But the bottom line is we have some pretty good storms coming through. So there's a live look at the radar now. Again, things are starting to fill in. Whatever you're doing now, if you're outdoors, it's time to pack it in and get ready to stay out of the weather as we go through the afternoon hours, because we're actually going to be looking at some really good storms coming through. The spins that you see here, these little yellow spins, they're indicating a little bit of rotation in the atmosphere. Again, there's a small chance, it's about a 2% chance that we see a tornado versus straight line wind chance today. Damaging winds, just regular straight winds, is about a 30% chance, according to the Storm Prediction Center. The main threat comes along this initial line, right in here. This is going to be the main threat. And I'll put this into motion for you, and you can see it's going to be pushing into the area over the next couple of hours. Right? The coastal areas west of I-75, it's in the next hour. Right, rain's already starting to get here. Well, we're mainly concerned with that area that's just offshore. So, Storm Prediction Center has put us in an enhanced risk for severe weather today. That means basically it's a 3 in 5 chance, right? Because they've zero the storms. We were in a slight risk for today, but they now have bumped that up to enhance, that darker orange that you're seeing there. And that mainly again covers that first line that's coming through. We'll take you out to St. Pete right now. You can see cloudy skies. That's actually a good thing, guys, because the more sun we see, the warmer it will get, and that means the more fuel for fire, for the storms that we would have later this afternoon. Back out on the beach, and you can see what's coming, right? It won't be too long. In fact, if I move this to the north a little bit, it doesn't really show. Doesn't look as dark as what you would imagine, but it is. It's going to be, because that's where most of this is coming in. But you can see looking around offshore, it's definitely going to get a little wet before we dry up a little bit late today. I think today really overall is just going to be a really, really soggy day. So Nally and I are here. We're going to be with you all afternoon, or at least what we're thinking now time-wise. The severe threat is about a half hour from now through about 2 o'clock or so. Again, it's this main line that we're concerned about. Because back here, that's just rain. There might be a couple rumbles of thunder, but severe weather is not expected in that. It's this leading edge. Yesterday when we had this, temperatures went from the low to mid 80s down to the low to mid 60s with the rain. And we've already actually seen some of that cooling today. We have not really reached the low to mid 80s in most locations, which is good news. This is happening earlier in the day than what we saw yesterday, and so we haven't had the chance to warm things up. In fact, here are the current temps right now. Load this up for you. 70s, most locations, but notice where we've seen some rain. Look at Brooksville and Crystal River, back down to the mid-60s. So that actually helps to what we call stabilize the atmosphere so that we don't see quite as strong winds, right? It's a little less energy for the storms to use to make these things going. Let me get my other. I can see some of your questions here. and I'm going on different. My neighbor just texted the picture of the radar. I was like, seriously, dude? He calls me 10% because of 10% chance of rain.
Stop it.
Yeah, I told him that one time, and it literally rained right on him, and it didn't rain anywhere else. So I'm now 10%. Is what he calls me. So let me get some of the questions up. I'm going to put the radar up while I'm doing that. If you're streaming on 10 Tampa Bay, it's also on my Facebook page, Bobby Deskin's Weather, or vice versa, whatever. We're here. As I mentioned, Natalie's here as well. What are the chances of severe thunderstorm warning with that line coming through right there?
I think severe warning. I think we could at least get a few. I mean, this is just intense setup. I mean, they've been holding together ever since the Central Gulf over the last several hours, and not a whole lot of sign of weakening. But I do think that severe potential will be. Well, I was gonna say, there you go.
Okay,
no,
so
that is a marine warning.
Yeah. So yeah, you're going to hear a lot of alarms going off in the background, but most of that's going to be marine warnings, hopefully. Now, the way it worked yesterday was we had a pretty long line like we have today. We had less lightning. It's certainly going to be louder today. And today was expected actually to be a little bit on the stronger side.
But to answer your question, yeah, a few severe storms will be likely, and that's really just for winds, for the wind and that potential for hail. And
then that's what, the ones that we had yesterday were specifically for the winds. And they'll generally, when you hear it, they will say that it's for 60 mile per hour winds or higher. The threshold is 58 miles per hour, but basically anything in that range, that's where you really can start to do some damage. Carports. So if you're out there now and there's things like if it's, you've got trash cans out, there's things that you can bring in, lawn furniture, things on your porch, your lanai, if you can kind of tuck them up against the house, get them out of the wind a little bit. Probably be a pretty good idea to do that now before the rain really gets started. Pinellas and Hillsborough is a little bit of rain there now, but not a whole lot. This monitor is going to kill me if it keeps doing this. My monitor's flashing pretty bad. But it's certainly getting ready to come through. Lightning will be an issue. Charge your phones up. We're going to have some power outages because of this. We had about 3,000 people. Was it Duke Energy? Well, Duke Energy had about 8,000 people without power at one point yesterday.
Even this morning, they still had quite a bit, but they hadn't fully restored yet. So
2,000 or 3,000 people I think I saw this morning.
Still.
TECO had a bunch as well. Again, I think especially north of I-4, we're going to have more power outages today than what we saw yesterday. So that's what we're in store for this afternoon. I would plan basically for the next couple of hours at least to have the best case for worst weather. And then after that, it does look pretty soggy. It does look like it's going to be a pretty wet Sunday afternoon. So hopefully you got a little bit of time in yesterday outdoors. Now look, if you're in Manatee, Sarasota County, Polk County, even southern Hillsborough, we still got an hour. Right, we've got some time. There'll be a couple sprinkles around, a couple showers. But obviously you can see the core of the storms is from Pinellas northward at this particular point, or at least just offshore. And so that's what we'll be watching for. Looking at your questions. Got my shopping done this morning, Jack. Good to hear. My wife, of course, is going shopping.
My fiance tried to wash the car this morning. Can we talk about that for a second? Let's give him a little shout out.
The outside, and you suggested to clean the inside.
I was like, hold on, let me just give him the benefit of the doubt. You mean the inside, right?
You did say that.
And he's like, no, both. Oh, bless.
It's what happens. My kids show up to school on cold days without jackets, and then hot days they take jackets. But that's just what are you gonna do, right? You could, they used to say you could lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. But I don't even know the leading to the water part. But the bottom line is, whatever you're going to do, indoor stuff, malls, that kind of stuff, if you can, if you do want to get out of the house today. Golf is on today, the Masters. We're going to do our very best. The last thing we want to do is break into programming. The good news is the Masters coverage on CBS today on 10 Tampa Bay does not start until 2 o'clock. There is some golf from 12 to 2. It's just kind of looking back. It's nothing live, or it actually might be a little bit out there on the driving range. I'm not sure, but the actual coverage will start at 2 o'clock. By 2 p.m., I think the highest threat for severe weather will be pushing southward, and we'll be seeing more just steady rainfall at that particular point. So good news there as well too. We will have the crawl up on 10 Tampa Bay, of course, whenever we need it. Right now we have that severe thunderstorm watch in effect until 4 p.m. today, and that just means conditions are favorable for seeing a severe thunderstorm. So you see this area up here in Orlando, that little orange, that's a severe thunderstorm. That's obviously will last about a half hour or so. The orange that you see off here again is marine warning. So now we're just kind of sitting here waiting. Cindy says, "Hubby washed both cars."
Oh, good.
Both cars.
Mine's
There you
not
go.
the only one. One thing also to keep in mind, just with events like this, of course, only if you could do it safely. Hello, good morning. Only if you could do it safely. You are eyes and ears out there. So we have all these radars, and we're going to, of course, walk you through every single step of the way, any watches or warnings. However, if you know of anything happening in your neighborhood, of course, stay indoors, stay as safe as possible, but you can let us know at least online through our Facebook page. We have our 10 Tampa Bay Weather Network that we're keeping updated with the latest watches and timings and everything for you. You're our eyes and ears out there. So we'd love to know, what it's like in your neighborhood as we get into this afternoon.
Yeah, people are always asking how they can send us stuff. Posting it on that 10 Tampa Bay Weather Network page is a great way to do it. That is a member page. We have to let you in, but we're just letting you in. So I've got it pulled up over here, and I will add the people that are coming in. That's a great place to put it, because not only are we watching it, but our producers and people here in the newsroom are keeping an eye on it as well too, so we can share it. And a lot of times that stuff we send over to the National Weather Service as well too, because they need to confirm whether it was a tornado, how big, how strong,
Yeah, absolutely.
Or straight line winds. What happened in Bradenton yesterday, they determined was straight line winds, so they will not be doing a storm survey.
Correct.
But they could tell from the pictures and looking back at the radar. So Natalie and I were talking, and I wanted to point this out. First of all, somebody asked about how bad it will be in Panama City. You're fine. You're just about done. You may get another couple showers, but not like what you saw yesterday. They had large hail yesterday.
It was
in some
unreal
areas. Yeah.
seeing that, like, especially there, yeah.
So this area right in here, that's moving basically west to east, right? You don't see it moving too much to the south and the east, at least not yet. We think that will happen because we've got this trough sitting right in here. You see that little bend? That's going to help to push all of this in that direction and eventually off to the south and the east. But right now there's some winds here as well too, and there's quite a bit of wind. And so when the storms get big like they are now, they can pull that wind that's up above us down to the surface, and that's why our main threat today is straight line winds. I wanted to show you this because the modeling, and I'm going to switch over, this is a model now, going out in time. Watch this area here on the left side of the screen. It takes that line and pushes it hard south. And we're not seeing that
That's
yet.
like a drastic turn.
Isn't that?
Yeah,
That's what I'm
it
saying.
is.
And that makes a huge difference because now look, that's 12:45 and the threat's almost out of Polk County. So again, this is just the modeling. I do believe that this main line that you see here that's coming in, that's pretty good. It looks like it's at least initialized a little bit. But I have not seen that secondary line that's over here push southward yet. So the reason I'm saying that is because one of the other things we're going to see today is not the biggest threat, but is a lot of rain. And if this secondary line does not move, Pinellas southward, Manatee, Sarasota County, we're going to get dumped on. Everybody's going to get some rain.
Yeah.
We're going to get 2 to 3 inches at least in some locations.
And easily sparking localized flooding. You know your neighborhood. You know if that's an area that it doesn't take much to go a long way. I mean, that could be the situation if this does not start to turn soon.
Yeah. Let's look at it on here. You're just not. Oh, maybe starting to see a little push here finally.
Yeah.
Let's hope that starts, because the sooner that starts, the more momentum this whole line can get and just push through the area a lot quicker.
Yeah. Why is your monitor flashing so much?
Look, shocking. I just have the. I'm not complaining, but I do not have. I have the really good luck in certain aspects.
Like,
But,
you're the most tech savvy here.
yeah,
What's happening?
yeah, right.
What's happening?
Yeah, that's great. All right, so questions. Polk is starting to get dark. Yes, Cheyenne. Not a lot yet in Polk. It'll be a little bit. However, it's a good thing that it's getting dark. Again, you don't want to heat up too much because that'll give some energy for these storms as they're
I
coming
saw a
through.
few questions about the rain lasting into WrestleMania and this evening.
Oh, good point. WrestleMania, let's go back to the forecast model. Is it 8 o'clock start tonight?
I think it's 8 again.
So let's go out. So here we are. Let me just take you through this. Through 1 o'clock, and I'm just not buying this 100%. But let's go out to 6, 7, and then 8. So there's going to be a second batch of rain. And we've kind of been running that in the models for a while. We've been seeing that. This latest run that you're looking at right now has it a little further to the south than what it has been. And that's going to be really close because right now it looks like a lot of that will stay just to the south. Like we lost some of the data. Will stay just to the south of Ray J. But that's not 100% yet, so we're going to have to keep a close eye on that. I've got another version of Futurecast I want to show you. You know how we always talk about the European, the GFS, the different models. We kind of have a couple different versions for that close-up model that we call Futurecast as well. I want to pull that in here. If you play at home, it's the we use the IBM graph now a lot, but there's also the old school, what we call RPM.
RPM was speeding up a bit this morning.
Was it?
A little faster.
That's
Just a little.
that's kind of good. I mean, I kind of see that a little bit. Well, let's just do the HR. This is the triple R. Let's get that in there. That's 4 o'clock, 3:30, 4 o'clock. It's got it all out here by 6. Doesn't have the secondary rain in there at all. Okay, here's the one I wanted to show you. All right, so 11 o'clock, 10:56. That's what it's saying right now. RPM is way ahead. It's already got it.
Well, we're not even there yet, man.
Yeah, we're not there yet. Yeah, this is about, well, no, let's just say if it's an hour. See, it's got that southward push as well, too. So this looks like it's just ahead. It's ahead of its time by about an hour. So if that were to happen, you can see, you know, now we're about 1:40, 2 o'clock. Wow, most of the threat is over. And then it's just kind of steady light rain. Now, what's it say for 8 o'clock, which, no, here's 5 o'clock. Let's go out to 7, to 8. 8's drying up. And this, remember, this has been about an hour ahead. So if I go out to 9 o'clock, which would be the start time for WWE at 8 p.m., in theory, right? It's starting to clear out. So I think WWE is looking a whole lot better.
Yeah, better than last night even.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they did have a pause in it. I don't know if I think I heard that was the first time they've had that. But you know, they're fortunate that it can get rained on. All that out there can get rained on, and they can dry things off enough and then get started. Okay, let's get you back to the radar again because you're probably starting to hear some thunder out there. Look at that west of Pinellas, Tarpon Springs. So one of the things we were watching here for water spouts, right? And one of the ways we do that is we look at what's called the velocity. And so this is showing us movement in the storm. And what I'm seeing right here is a lot of wind. So that right there could actually spawn, let me see, this is just an estimate, yeah, 60, 70 mile per hour winds. Now this is a little bit higher in the atmosphere than where we are living on the ground, right? But this could likely spawn a severe thunderstorm warning. I don't see rotation. That's the good news right now. I don't see any water spouts right now. Knock on wood. But what I do see is some very high winds with that. So likely, it's if this were to come in fact, here, let's go back. Yesterday these were moving at about 20 miles per hour, but let's just go ahead and we'll do the math ourselves, right? So, yeah, so that's much better, 35 miles per hour. All right, so let me track this for you, give it to you now. I'm going to put this out at 35 miles per hour. And that's going to get it to Hudson by about 11:29. So we got about 30 minutes before it gets to the coast. And by it, I mean the highest winds, right? The heaviest rain coming through. Spring Hill, 11:42. St. Pete Clearwater Airport, that would be about 11:45. And then Tampa by about 12 o'clock, so about an hour. to get that line there. That's at 35 miles per hour. I would subtract maybe 5-10 minutes from these numbers, but this should be pretty close. But again, now when we go back and we look at the velocity product, I'm going to draw, I'll do it at 35. I would take this and go like that. That area right there, if you live in that cone, Tarpon Springs, Safety Harbor, St. Pete Clearwater Airport, Tampa, Brandon, Newport Richey, Trinity, eventually over to Wesley Chapel. But certainly if you live in Southwest Pasco, Newport Richey, Port Richey, Tarpon Springs, Anclote, high school area where they had the fire, which they got some decent rain. They had a wildfire there the other day. And even down into
I'm just
Clearwater.
thinking these clouds are racing
Yeah.
near Clearwater.
Yeah. This would be an area, let me go ahead and do it. We don't have any watches or warnings at this point, but I would imagine something might come out that fills right in that area right there. So if you live in that box, watch these winds coming through. See the blue? The blue is high winds. All right. And that may be peaking right now. It could be pushing through. I don't think that's the case. I think it'll probably hold together. There's the regular radar that you can see there. Let me take you back out. Sorry about that, guys. Take you back out to the beach and show you what Natalie was talking about with these winds swirling, these clouds swirling around. This is another great tool to have, and when you're trying to figure out if there's water spouts and rotation out there, it's nothing like having a window. All of the technology we have, all this computer stuff, one of the best things as a meteorologist you can have is a window. You want to keep some credibility, you should check it before you go on TV.
Check the window.
Check the window first. Crowd-wise on the beach, not a whole lot today, or at least not what you would normally expect because of the weather. Look at that. It is quiet. But again, I'm going to keep this here so we can see the clouds coming in. Hope the power doesn't go out again. We were without power for 8 hours last night. Nicole, where do you live? That stinks. Yeah, Edna, is a lot of lightning for sure. Good morning, Marla. She's out in Lakeland. Good to hear from you this morning. Oh, yeah, it's still the morning, 11:02. Let's see what the... So we should be getting something from the Weather Center, the Weather Service, I should say, National Weather Service, concerning this line here moving into Pasco and northern Pinellas. See how this is changing shape? I'm going to go back. Let's go back here. This was what 10:38, so about 20 minutes ago. Look how this was pretty much a straight line. You see that? Now let's come out to where we're at now, and look what's happened. You see how this is a curved line? That usually means you get a lot of wind. And if we go to the velocity product, there's the wind. You see all that blue there? Sorry, I didn't mean to do that. There's the wind. Now we have this thing with the radar because the radar is located at Ruskin here. Right here where Ruskin is basically. So by the time we get here, we're looking a little bit higher in the atmosphere, but that's only a couple thousand feet up. So the reason why I say that is because I can look at this and say, hey, radar, tell me how fast these winds are blowing. And it's saying in the 70s. So now the meteorologists of the Weather Service who issue the warnings are looking at that saying we're probably going to have to issue a warning for this because those winds are getting up there. I would expect at least 50 to 55 mile per hour winds. And let's time this, which is technically just below severe criteria. 11:24, so 20 minutes in Beacon Square and Tarpon Springs, Dunedin, just about the same. Dunedin about 25. Indian Rocks. There's going to be a good storm coming through. Now, I haven't talked much about, say, East Lake Woodlands, that McMullen-Booth corridor, Landsbrook. Yeah, west. I'm going to forget some of those names. All the way up to Fox Hollow, but all those areas there on the McMullen-Booth Road and eventually into Keystone, northwestern parts of Hillsborough, the Odessa area on both sides of the county line there, Odessa, Pasco, Odessa, Hillsborough, West Chase eventually, that's going to come through. The highest winds, I think, will be right there along the coast. So if you live along that US 19 corridor, get ready for the wind. Should I put my porch stuff up? All my stuff flew up. Yeah, you definitely should, Nicole. If there's stuff on your porch that can blow around and you're in that area there, definitely going to see a little bit of wind. Sydney says a little sprinkle there. I'm not sure where you are, Sydney. And sometimes you can get a little bit of rotation. The radar, this little yellow thing here, is actually picking up on what it thinks is a little bit of rotation develop here. And yeah, you can see it. I mean, it's coming here like this, and then they got this notch like that. Now that doesn't mean we have a water spout out there. In fact, we can look at the camera. I don't see anything. It doesn't mean that a tornado will develop, but that's something that we're going to watch. And meanwhile, there are other notches on here, or rotation by the radar. This is an automated thing by the radar. It's putting pieces together and looking at it and saying, here's a heads up. The yellow color and says early means there's a little bit of rotation. You should kind of keep an eye on this. Now that'll turn red, and then you'll be able to see it a lot better. But yeah, certainly a little bit of that. We can see, because that is up near Anclote. I've got a camera. See if we can see all the way up there. Go back to check.
Severe thunderstorm warning.
All right. So they just issued the severe thunderstorm warning for this area that we're talking about. Right? There it is. Let me come back up here. You can see a little bit better. So it's covering this area here. And we're going to go do a cut-in on TV. Do you want to do this one?
I'll do it.
Okay.
I'll do it.
All right, tell him, you want me to drive, or are you going to do it all on yours?
I already have. I have his scene stacked up, so I can go ahead and jump on.
Awesome.
Let me just get the latest.
So what we're going to do, guys, and we'll stop talking here in a minute. I'm going to cover it here for you. Natalie's going to jump on TV and just do a quick cut-in, let everybody at home know that it's here, and then jump back off. When we go on air for tornado warnings, we covered those beginning to end because obviously we got a severe threat with that. Severe thunderstorm warning is a little bit different, it's a little less of a threat, but you can see the area that they have here. What I've been showing you is this area right in here, those high winds. They've extended it all the way up into Brooksville because they're basically covering for this whole arch. Why is this end?
Hey Troy, do you hear me?
So let me zoom in here. The red that you see there, this whole arch, that right there, is going to have a lot of wind. Just like that. So that's why you got it. So you might want to share this, guys. Share our streams if you want with your family or friends, because give them a heads up, especially if they're in that area. What we're thinking is 60-mile-per-hour winds and nickel-size hail. Now, I haven't done a lot with hail here, but I want to show you. See the gray all there? That's hail in that line, and that's about almost half an inch hail, a little bit less than that. Nickel's about half-inch hail. So certainly can't rule it out, although, again, the radar is seeing just below that, but it's close enough. There could be some hail damage. So if you put the car in the garage, if you've got a carport, that type of thing, you might want to consider doing that as well. In fact, I think I can just show you. What I want to do is slice this thing in half here for you. And look at the size of these things. These are actually getting to be pretty big storms here. See that upwards of 40,000 feet. And what you're going to notice, look at the leading edge, how it's high up here, but then the heavy rain comes. So what we're going to see, well, we can't see it now, I'll take you over to the camera. We're going to see a pretty good shelf cloud coming in with this thing again, like what we saw yesterday. Although I think today won't be quite as crisp, because we do have quite a few clouds already. But it is going to be a pretty good shelf cloud coming in. Another thing I like to do, let me take you back here. I'm going to show you 3D radar. It's actually a 3D volume. And I love to use this because what it will do is show you if it's weakening or getting stronger. And this one should really give us a really good view of these things getting a little bit on the stronger side. So I'm going to put this into motion. Watch this. The red that you see there is kind of the cord. It's the stronger part of it. And if you notice, look at that. I mean, it's not really weakening at all, right? It's staying pretty big. And a matter of fact, it's actually starting to surge a little bit. So there's the storm coming. And again, those tops 45,000 feet. Freezing level is upwards of around 15,000 feet or so, 14, 15. So anything up above that is below freezing. So if you've got a storm that's 45,000 feet, you've got 30,000 feet below freezing. And that's why you got a better chance for hail. And it's even colder up there this time of year too. If this was happening in summertime, it would be a little bit less, but we still have some cold air up there that's coming in with that trough I showed you earlier. So watch out for hail in that area as well. Here's the bigger picture, and you can see the line. Again, this is our main threat. That back of that line is still coming westward, which means Pinellas southward is going to have a very heavy rainfall out of this. Yeah, so Nicole said yesterday it seemed like a tornado. Must have been straight line winds, and she heard the howling. So same thing's going to happen today.
All right, let's do this.
You're going to hear the howling. Have they run the crawl? All right. Just took it down. Okay. So here are the winds just getting there. Here's the notch that we were talking about. I think we're okay with that. We'll have to watch that.
I'm Tampa meteorologist Natalie Ferrari joining to your program for just a moment because I wanted to update you on a brand new severe thunderstorm warning that we have just had issued. The first one of the day associated with this whopper of a line of activity starting to move onshore as we speak. This severe thunderstorm warning is for portions, or rather all, of Fernando and Pasco County, as well as the far northern portion of Pinellas and to that yellow polygon.
Straight line winds are in this whole area, so this affects a lot more people. But it can be a little less, obviously, than what a tornado would do. So it's kind of, you know, when we sit here in the Weather Center and we see a larger threat for straight line winds, we're a little bit more relieved than if it was a tornado threat. Also, look at all this lightning. I mean, man, there's been a lot of lightning out there today. You can see all the strikes. Whew.
It's a lot of energy.
It really is a lot of energy. Now, this is about the time as well that hail will be moving onshore. In fact, let me just show you where the hail is now. It's this area right in here. So Newport down here, Trinity, Holiday, even to Innisbrook, right? And then down to the south. So you're watching in Dunedin and Palm Harbor. We definitely have a small hail chance coming through here.
Say that again?
All cameras towards that direction that we have.
We
Towards-
have Clearwater face that way.
Avery's rolling on Clearwater. What else we have that can point that direction towards where the storm goes?
We've got the Renaissance International Plaza. I'll go ahead and get that going. That should be close to it anyways.
Maybe like a time lapse or something, or something to roll on.
So while I got you here, let's show you the view from Clearwater Beach. You can see the storm's coming on shore now. And I'm actually pulling up our camera that's on top of the International Plaza. It's looking at right next to the airport. But you can see rain hasn't quite met has now. So there you go now. You can see where our watch and warning is. Back down with our winds. This is the velocity again. What this is the radar. You know, old radar would just send a signal out and it would bounce off of rain and it would come back and say, hey, there's rain there, put green on the map. Doppler radar uses the Doppler principle, which says if you know what that wave looks like when you send it out to hit a raindrop, if the raindrop's coming towards the radar or away from the radar, it's moving, right? The wind's blowing it. It's going to change what the shape of that wave looks like when it's coming back. And the Doppler radar can actually measure that. And so it's measuring speed. It's saying, hey, look, these are coming really fast towards us. This is going away from us. Right? So you can basically see which way the wind direction is going because you've got a line right there in the middle. So the wind's going just like that. So that's the beauty of Doppler radar. It shows us motion inside the storms. Now, there's a little notch here. You see that? And the computer's telling us that there's a little bit of rotation. I'm not worried about that right now. And it's something to keep an eye on, but again, I don't think that's a big deal. High winds right now over East Lake Woodlands, Landsbrook. That's now moving into, well, Brooker Creek Preserve is right here, but Tarpon Springs Road, Keystone, the Eagles, West Chase, Water Chase, Westwood Lakes, Racetrack Road area, here it comes. And then again, Oldsmar, it's rolling into town right now. There's CJ's getting it. Yep. Hitting Land O'Lakes now, very high winds, over 40 miles per hour. Thanks, Sam, appreciate it. What are we looking at here? Oh, looks like we got a tree down on Moore Lane. That's near Keystone Road. That's right there in northwestern Hillsborough, northern Pinellas County. So this wind that's up there now near Keystone, estimated in the 50s, probably close to 60.
And Newport Richey, another report we're checking out of tree damage.
Tree damage, 3/4 of an inch of rain in about 10 minutes. That's pretty good. Haven't looked at any rainfall amounts yet. We'll get to that. Slice this in half here. So these storms up there around 40,000 feet, that's pretty good. That's pretty big storms. Now, look behind it. They certainly tail off. They're only down to about 30,000 feet. So it's this leading edge that's bigger. Before going in and out in Tarpon Springs. Yeah, Susie, it's really, Tarpon Springs area is still pretty good, but you're getting close to the back of it now. Same thing with Newport Richey, all the way up to Hudson, I should say. Now offshore, we've got this band off of Pinellas County. Let me put this into motion for you. And you get the idea that the line, which is now here, and it was up here. So this line is pushing southward now. It's starting to build a little bit to the south. So that's telling me that a lot of this here is going to end up right in there. So downtown St. Pete eventually. It's going to take a little while, but it's coming. And it's going to be heavy. Look at this up here. This is Land O'Lakes, Wesley Chapel. That's some heavy rainfall. Here it comes. Getting ready to the I-75 corridor right now. So anybody out there at the outlets, they're already raining, but it's really going to get windy and a lot of lightning coming down just within minutes. Thanks, John. John's in Webster really getting it. Barbara, there's Wesley Chapel. Sorry, just mentioned it there for you. I'm going to start looking. I'm going to come off camera here, guys. Now I'm going to pull up some power stuff. Let's go Duke, Tico. Nope.
So 2 different weather stations in Tarpon Springs, picking up anywhere, officially recording anywhere between 43 to 54 mile per hour gusts from that round that just came through.
All right, all right.
So we're still pushing ahead, pretty decent gusts, lots of lightning. Even one of our directors here lives near Clearwater, just shared with us a video of that rain and that wind picking up some speed as well through Clearwater.
We've got, as far as Duke Energy is concerned, we got about 1,000, well, more than that. We've got about 2,000 people without power in the Newport Richey area. This is up by Morton Plant Bay North Bay Hospital. So that's basically in this area right here. We got a lot of power outages in that area. And look, it's probably going to extend exactly just like that, right? That's where the highest winds are. We still have this bow. I mean, you see that shape right there? We still have that quite a bit of windfall. And in fact, if I switch this over to velocity, you're still going to see it. Now, here's the good news. Look at that. This area of high winds has shrunk. Oh, that's not good news.
Oof.
See, now we talked earlier about looking on the north side and the south side of these bows. And look at that right there.
A little interesting.
Yeah, that is a little interesting. So if you're up here in Darby, keep an eye on this one in Darby. Put this into motion real fast. I want to see this coming through. Yeah, definitely keep an eye on that in Darby. That could be just some wind coming out of it, but that looks a little interesting with some rotation. This area right in here. So no tornado warnings right now. We do have a severe thunderstorm warning. But let me just track this real fast. If you're in Dade City, Darby, San Antonio, 1136, 1145. So the next 10 minutes through St. Leo. 15, 20 minutes from now in Dade City. Keep an eye on that.
Radar estimated 53 miles per hour.
53 mile per hour winds. Certainly has come down though.
Yeah.
So watch the colors. I'm going to go back here. Look at that. I mean, that had strong winds offshore. That was 1107. You can see it pushing towards the coast. Those highest winds right there in Tarpon Springs. And then now things, look at the wind is really coming down. So you see less blues there. And of course, you know, there's a lot more friction over land. There's nothing out there over the water, so that wind can just blow pretty good. And that segment is bowing pretty good as well, still, too. Still, that's problem with things like this is these things can spin up and be there one scan and be gone on the second scan. We're seeing any shear there. Yeah, we do have some shear there too. 29 mile per hour shear. That tells us wind motion doing something like that. I'm gonna have to keep watching that one. In fact, let's cut that in half. Let's see if I can see anything here.
Let me check. I'm gonna check on the Sunshine Skyway too.
Yeah. I would imagine that the Sunshine Skyway has a couple issues when this cell that's offshore from Indian Rocks Beach comes on. You see all that? That's got to come on shore.
Yeah.
I would imagine there's some issues here. Let me...
Open with advisory.
Sorry guys, I want to pull up our camera here at the station. Should be looking out towards the bridges. Here we go. Yeah. I can move this around real fast. South Tampa starting to get it. Yeah, definitely coming through there.
Right there.
Yeah. I mean, this is definitely enough wind to blow the water up.
Wow.
Let me do something here when I look at some tides. So we are coming up on high tide at about 2:30. So high tide at 2:30.
So even by the time the stops get pushing on shore, we're still gonna have that high tide, keeping it up there.
Yeah. And the wind should actually stay out of the northwest. You see, look, they've got lifeguards went ahead and just put the double red flags
Yeah.
up. That means stay out of the water, no swimming, and obviously for good reason. Let's go over. Look at. I doubt anybody's trying to surf at this particular point. This is looking across Clearwater Pass towards. Yeah, you can't even see it. That's towards Sankey. I'll back out.
There's just too much dangerous lightning.
Yeah, this is from the Wyndham Grand at Clearwater, by the way, our camera. Believe it or not, things will get a little bit better out here later today. Not a lot. Bigger picture here, let me zoom out a little bit and show you the progress this line has made. And yeah, it is finally starting to shoot southward. That's good. So now this is telling me that basically where it is now, and you take that out another hour, and we're something like this, maybe an hour, hour and a half. So that's going to get us out to about 1 o'clock or so. So this line should move through, which means this area here, let me freeze it, that's what we have left over. So that's pretty good. Lots of clouds, because you notice,
Stuff.
yeah, lighter rain. I think some of this is going to expand, and so that'll be moving in, but certainly a lot less. And that's it. I mean, there's not really, this is all, if you watched yesterday, this low right here was sitting right in here. In fact, let's just go back 24 hours. Watch this loop. That low over St. Louis just keeps spinning energy around it, right? It's going to keep throwing energy back in. And at the same time, we have this trough that I showed you earlier that's there, that's moving into here. And then a bunch of wind that's blowing in that direction up above everything. And so that's why this area right in here has the best chance for severe weather today. And basically, it's just taking that wind. What we look for tornadoes is if at the ground we have wind coming from the south, or actually it would be the other way, coming on. That could be out of the south. But wind changing direction. Coming this way, coming southeast. Not going to draw it. Then it comes from the southwest, then it comes west, and then west as you're going up. Here's the ground, right? So if you take a balloon, you go straight up in the air, and you see wind changing with direction, that gives you that tornado threat. Today, we have a little less of that, but what we do have is a lot of wind aloft. We've got 60, you know what, I'm going to look at the sounding. Almost 100 mile per hour winds up there. Where is my sounding? So what do they got? 75. Oh, okay. We almost got 100. We got 90 knots. We got about 100 mile per hour winds. You go up about 36,000 feet. And so, yeah. So you see these storms right here forming. Notice the white here on the top part. See all that? That's the tops of those clouds because that wind's going just like that. And at the surface here, the wind is a little bit more out of the south. So that's the difference. But we got lucky. There's not a big change with direction in the wind. It's more of a big change in the wind speed. Wind shift at Land O'Lakes now, northwest, southeast of 15. Sam, thank you very much, man. It's perfect. That's what we would expect. In fact, let's get a little bit closer. We'll come down into Wesley Chapel. Look at all that lightning. What's the lightning out like there now? Look at this all the way into downtown Tampa. What the Tampa cam looks like. It doesn't look like much. Tough to see, that's for sure. But there's some lightning up there. You know, yesterday after covering, I thought I need to make scenes for each camera because I was going in and changing
them all in the scene.
And then I realized in my severe show I have that.
You did that already?
It's just been a while. Sorry guys, I'm working on another computer over here to control this Tampa cam that you're seeing.
Yeah, those trees are waving.
Where's this?
Armature.
In Armature Works. Go to that right now while we're waiting. Oh yeah.
Yeah, another marine warning is about to come down. So the radio's gonna go off.
Yeah.
Don't forget.
That you want to tell everybody in the newsroom real fast. Hey, it's getting ready to go off.
I actually do that. I
it's
catch
not a
myself
severe
doing that a
thunderstorm
lot.
warning.
Like,
Yeah.
it's okay. It's okay.
Yep. It's okay. Definitely looks like Cat 2, Stephanie says. So, sustained winds are likely in the 30s. In fact, you know what? Let's go look at that. Let me pull up the winds here for you. And what will be really interesting is our peak winds too. So here are the current winds across the area. And the little blue numbers are the wind gusts recently. 35 in Brooksville, 36 in Tampa, 37 in Clearwater. The front is right there. You see those winds coming in? Let's get here. Here's the front. Okay, see all these winds coming this direction? So I was in Wesley Chapel just saying the wind already changed directions. This graphic's a little bit late. You see the winds out of the southwest ahead of it? That's clear sign that you've got a cold front sitting right here. I hope that's a cold front. Yeah, you got a cold front sitting right in there. Now, peak gusts, this would cover with the storms, 39 in Clearwater. And you could see down Manatee County, that's pretty decent gusts for so far. It's just been a little breezy. Back to the radar. So currently we do not have any active warnings. Safety Harbor has lost some power. Uh-oh. We've got a little rotation out here. Let's look at that. See how that's turned red. It says early. This is out near Morrisville in Polk County. Let me get the velocity here and take a look at that. Yeah.
Not as impressive as before.
Yeah. Put this in a little bit of motion here so I can see what that looks like. This is northeast Hillsboro, just about to the Polk County line. You can see Socrum and Gibsonia there. Polk County line is right here. Pasco north of there. Hillsboro south of there. A little bit of rotation right in here. And that's going to move over towards Socrum area and Gibsonia, right through Morrisville. Oh, wouldn't you know it? Look at that. The scan came in and it's messed up. Yeah.
Alright, there's a new one.
Oh, okay. Then it corrected itself. Yeah, there's a... I think we're okay with that. That is a broad circulation, though, right there. That bears watching.
Yeah.
Another batch of high winds coming in for Clearwater. This is that secondary line coming through. Camera shaking pretty good in there, as you can imagine. Beach has cleared out.
We're hearing a report of hail in Clearwater. Trying to confirm the size, and our digital team's getting some photos.
Oh,
Hopefully.
okay, cool. Well, not cool, but hail. In fact, we'll go back and we'll take a look at it. Oh man, I'm missing all these comments. Port of Tampa, Nicole says, really getting it. No. Akira, no. No tornadoes at this point. No warnings at this point, at least not on land. Nicole says, make some more coffee in case power goes out. Smart.
Good idea. Way to think ahead.
Yeah, right. So let's get back to the radar here. Northeast Hillsboro, very heavy out by the fairgrounds. Who do we have? Well, we got Daisy out there. It was Daisy was talking about hail. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw some hail there. Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, right out by the hail. Yeah, 0.6 of an inch. Still below.
Pea-sized hail.
Pea
in
size.
Clearwater.
In Clearwater?
In Clearwater.
Yeah.
I'm gonna confirm over by the fairgrounds.
Yeah, there's a little spot, little bit, it's not going to show it. But this is just moved from west to east. A half-inch diameter hail, so Pete come up here. Bear with me for a second here, guys. I don't even need to have that there. So where is this? That's I-4 eastbound. Is that out by the fairgrounds?
Close to it.
Close to it? Oh,
Daisy's seen a lot of rain and winds, no hail.
Macintosh Road.
close to McIntosh Road. Okay, cool. Thanks, Mike.
And
Yeah, look at that.
Any of those cameras in that area, they are getting slammed on that.
Yeah, they are. You see a little bit of brake lights here in the lower right-hand corner.
Parking garage of the Hard Rock. Just the rain just basically coming all the
It
way
looks
in.
like hurricane coverage, right? Tropical storm coverage. Yeah, definitely scary driving out there. Gibsonton, but that's about it. It's saying just rain. Thanks, Angie. Gibsonton could see a little bit of small hail too. We'll see if that happens. It would be small, but that's there.
Rim 7 is 275 in North.
Tampa cleared a little bit. Downtown Tampa, you can actually see Davis Islands a little bit there. The beach is still looking pretty good. Mahaffey Theater. So Mahaffey is actually seeing that storm go by. Hasn't really gotten there yet. I'm going to go put the radar back on and move that Mahaffey camera a little bit.
I have it. Do I have it here?
Oh, you have it? Sweet. Oh yeah, you do.
Where do you want it?
Just pan to the left a little bit. See if we see anything interesting.
Ooh, look at that. They're so smooth.
Yeah, isn't that cool? Oh, sorry.
Oh.
We're geeking out. We're not showing you here. Hold on. Let me get the Mahaffey picture.
We're like, whoa.
We're like, yeah, look at that. All right.
Let's do it the same
Yeah,
time.
go
Hold on,
back.
hold on.
Right.
We gotta do this right. We gotta do this right.
Pan up
I
just a
got too
little
excited.
bit.
There you go. Okay.
Yeah.
Ready, team?
All right, go for it. So that's what's coming through Safety Harbor, through Oldsmar, through the airport almost, and look what's behind it. Yeah, look at that off in the distance. See the Vinoy, the pink building right there. You know what? Here, let's do that. Yeah, let's go just the contrast in color. Oh, it's going to look wild. Just quiet there right now.
Yeah, we've got about 4,000 power outages in the area now.
4,000.
Here it comes, St. Pete. There's Al Lang Stadium right there in the bottom of the screen. I'm going to set this over here and we'll come back to it. Yeah, that's wild. All right, back up to the radar. I want to keep an eye on that northeast Hillsboro area and then where we had that rotation. At least a little bit of it. Let's get back in here and kind of take a closer look at that. Yeah, it's okay. It's seeing this little stuff that happens, and that happens up and down these lines a little bit. That's okay. We're good there. Don't mean to move so fast, but I just want to look at it real fast. So there. So anyways, again, we're looking at the velocity here, guys. So what I'm trying to show you is the winds. And it's trying to show a little rotation. I don't see a lot out there. On the southwest, watch this area right.
Andy's up on Rim 7.
What do we got here? I got router, okay. There you go, I-4. Oh, I-4 is never fun to drive. Oh, am I showing you this?
That's on
Yeah.
a sunny day.
Lightning up there too on that one.
Is there? Yeah.
on a sunny day.
Yeah. Let's go to downtown Tampa. Heavy rain's back. I'm happy the rain's moved in now. Trying to brighten up a little bit on the back side of that.
Polk County, Polk City.
Polk, yeah, that's why I was trying to get that camera. That's not too far from where it was. What do you see in there? That wind?
Yeah.
Yeah. Look at this. Suggestion winds blowing 60 miles per hour, 65 mile per hour blowing out of there. Oh, I don't want that. I want this. .51 mile per hour wind gusts in Temple Terrace. Pea-size hail in Morningside and Clearwater. We've kind of seen that. I'll get you back out in a little bit so you can see the radar here. I just keep focusing on this area in Polk County and Eastern Hillsborough. That I-4 drive from literally from the Howard Franklin all the way past Polk City. So I haven't talked much about Tierra Verde, but it's coming. It's now moving into South St. Pete. It's just about, well, rain's there, but what I'm talking about is the heavier rain that's coming there. And here's a look at the wind coming through. But this is diving southeastward, so it's coming across the Skyway. If the Skyway is going to have issues, it's going to be now. So, hey guys, keep an eye out for FHP. Anything about the Skyway?
Still just an advisory.
Just an advisory? Okay.
I just checked.
High wind advisory. Yeah, keep an eye out on it now. The highest winds are coming through.
I've got Susan Hall of Polk.
I have the status page popped up too.
Okay. Do you want another
For the
camera
Skyway?
on
Oh, good.
I-4?
Sorry?
Power line down to US 41. It's in Pasco. Out near 52. Oh, STH 52 closed according to the Pasco Sheriff's Office. So yeah, we got some power lines down there. That's up again up here in eastern Pasco. I mean, man, no doubt all that came through. Hey, by the way, though, Pasco, Hernando, Citrus, all looking pretty good now as far as severe weather threat, except for, you know, it's slowly clearing there in the Zephyr Hills area. Lakeland's got power out. Parts of Lakeland. Downtown Tampa, let's go over to that camera. That's getting hit hard right now. Yeah. Don't see anything. That camera's up there high. It's on top of the PNC building. It's way up there. So don't expect to be able to see a whole lot out of that one.
Check out Rem 7. That's going to be your Skyway. Look at the line coming across.
Oh, okay. Let's jump over real fast to the Skyway. You can see right now, not a lot of rain on the Skyway. Is that the one we had before? I mean,
Polk City's on Rem 8.
what do we got here? I just lost Polk City. Well, Polk City, that green almost looks like it's underwater. It's not that bad, but I would not want to be out there. Man, State Road 559 in Polk City, that's basically I-4
Avery, can you start at
at 559.
How are people even driving? I can't see in front of me what it's like.
Yeah, yeah. Now, most of you watching right now are not driving, of course. But this is the time that we should let you know, putting your hazards on while you're driving in this rain is illegal. All right? It does not help. In fact, you know, you want to be able to see brake lights if people are stopping in front of you. It's a lot easier to see those if you don't have yellow lights flashing constantly. You can't tell the difference between normal tail lights and when they're hitting the brake, right? You don't want a bunch of flashing lights at you. It just reflects more off of the water in the air anyways. I think it's like a $165 ticket. I've never heard of anybody giving them a ticket for
You can't
it.
see better.
But you can see better. Yeah, it's illegal to drive with your hazards on. Hazards are meant for parked or disabled vehicles. So if you're driving down the road and you see hazards, you're supposed to assume that that car is not moving, right? That's the whole idea of it. So if you're driving down the road and you got your hazards on, it's against the whole idea, right? You got lights, you got tail lights, we can see those. Hazards you shouldn't have while you're doing that. Tina's back. Hey Tina, how are you? You had me yesterday with that Facebook page. I didn't know what I had done wrong. All right, let's go back to the radar here. Wow, that is just... So what we were showing you there, I-4, in the Polk City area, that's that. Look at this. Phew, Lakeland. Look at all that.
Power outages bumping up in Lakeland.
I imagine. And it's not all wind either. Ooh, that looks interesting. That's some very gusty winds going through there. 70 mile per hour wind estimate. It's a little higher in the storm, but that's not that high. This is headed towards Reunion. Keep an eye on that. Yeah. These storms are getting a little interesting here. There's another little area down here in Winter Haven, some high winds as well too. Look at that. Right towards Legoland, Juanita, north of Gordon, Winter Haven basically. 60, 65 mile per hour winds. That's not a large area of high winds estimated. Again, we're a little bit further, but I wouldn't be surprised if they try and issue a severe thunderstorm warning in this area right in here. No warnings at the time, right? We're done. Yeah, we just have the marine warning. Winter Haven, Haines City, Citrus Ridge, Kissimmee, Polk City, although Polk City, it's the heaviest is moving past you now. Here, look, Natalie. Here, she put it on there.
What did you do?
I didn't do anything. I'm just saying
heard-
what Lisa put it on there. Don't forget.
Tina, you gave us a really good laugh.
Yeah. So I don't know if you guys can see on the 10 Tampa Bay comment page that we're streaming there as well too. We were talking about Bradenton yesterday. We had some damage down there, straight line winds, and Tina had posted something from the page, or that she had seen, and then she put the name of the page, and I thought she was speaking to me, but not telling me the name of the page, and I didn't know what I had done wrong, because if you read that comment, you'll know what I'm talking about. But that's great. So all right, let's get back to just the radar here. You can see tons of lightning. Get back down here to the Tampa area. South Tampa's still getting hammered right now. It's finally, the building here, we're right there where the A is or the N is in Gandy. So we're starting to lighten up a little bit here. It's gotten a little bit quieter, but still very heavy rain coming across the Gandy for South Tampa. Hula Bay area. South of Gandy. You know what? All of South Tampa, as a matter of fact. I mean, look at this. All the way up and down. Davis Islands, Harbor Island. The heaviest is right over Dale Mabry right now. All the way up to Himes. Heavy rain coming in on the beaches now. This is Indian Rocks, Reddington Shores. Boca Ciega is about ready to see the heavier rain. Wind-wise, yeah, very heavy. Look at that. Very heavy wind coming up at Clearwater now. Let me take you back down to that camera. See what the beach looks like. Can we route Rem 8? We've got the router turned on here. All right, let's come back here. Is that the Polk City one? Let me jump back over. There's the Skyway.
Yeah, Polk City.
Look at the Skyway, it's just quiet right now. Polk City is there. Yeah. Phew.
That was the Manatee side of.
That's going to be interesting. What are we're looking southbound here? At the south end of the
south end
Skyway?
from Manatee County facing.
Oh, so it's looking northbound, yeah,
Yeah.
looking northwest. All right, so the upper left-hand corner of the screen there is the storm coming through.
Ooh.
So looking good right now on the Skyway Bridge, but that's not going to last long. So let's go back over to the radar. I'll show you that.
You can literally see it's like crossing right over the like top right now.
What is this thing doing?
The leading edge.
Computer's picking up on those things we were seeing there. Yeah, I mean, look at that, Legoland. That's 65, 70 mile per hour winds right there. Let me check that. Yeah, 66. And then we had another little thing up here, which looks like it's gone now. This here, you see Juanita. This little area right in here is what we're looking at. But we had one. We've had several of these today, and they haven't produced any tornadoes. Knock on wood. All right, Curtis, here it comes. Anna Maria Island up next. That means here comes the Skyway. In fact, so let's get back over to the Skyway camera. You're going to see the rain coming over. These cars are wet, coming towards the camera. Now this one we can't move. This is a fixed DOT camera. But if you notice in the distance, you can see those things that are out here in the water. These things out in here, right? They keep ships from running into the bridge. Again, unfortunately, I have to say that. But 53 mile per hour wind gusts in Bel Air. Just issued a significant weather advisory for Manatee, Pinellas, and Hillsborough. And basically what that means is winds are going to be less than 60 miles per hour, but dime-sized hail and winds up to 50 miles per hour. That's coastal Hillsborough, Manatee, inland Hillsborough, inland Manatee, and Pinellas. So that's the southern end of that. And again, what I circled here, the reason why I circled that is because you're not going to be able to see that soon, right? The rain's going to be getting pretty heavy as that comes through. Come on, I think I can. This has flared up quite a bit. I'm going to go ahead and put this in 3D here so we can kind of see.
Those are getting
I mean, look at that.
tall.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, my poor Anna Maria Island.
Just going to do this 30 minutes here. Yeah, that's what's coming at the bridge right there, the Skyway Bridge. You can see it's right here. So Anna Maria, right there, getting down to Longboat Key. All that's coming in. So you can see, here's South Tampa. You can see what just went through there. Stronger storms are coming in to Tierra Verde. Manatee's going to get it again. Man. Here's the backside of these storms now. You can see how they pushed on shore. All right, let's get you back here. Let's put north back up. So yeah, this area right here, we're gonna have to watch this. Might end up getting a warning out of this as well too. Winds don't look terrible though. There's a lot of wind off of Clearwater right now. A lot of that's just because of where it is in relation to the radar. this area right in here. In fact, let me go ahead and track this. I'm going to track it about, let's just keep it at 35. Here's the heaviest of that. Tierra Verde just about now, obviously.
Remember those winds we were watching through northern Polk County?
Yeah.
It prompted a severe thunderstorm warning for the next
On
three
the other
counties
side,
over.
yeah, Melbourne. So Melbourne, NWS just issued a severe thunderstorm warning for what's coming out there in Poinciana and Winter Haven area. Well, east of Winter Haven, northeast. Anna Maria at 12:42. So now it's going to start raining there before that, of course. But what I'm tracking for you is the heavier downpours and lightning and gusty winds. I mean, I gotta imagine, especially Anna Maria and Longboat, you're looking at 45 to 55 mile per hour wind coming through with this. That's, believe it or not, is below severe weather criteria too. Yeah, I believe that 64 mile per hour wind gusts in Bartow. And there's the reason why. Look at this up in Winter Haven. That's going to have some hail in it. There it is. A little bit better than half. Slice this in half and look for that hail core. Nah. Spin this around a little bit. So look at these storms, by the way, guys. This thing over, let me zoom out a little bit, sorry. That's up over 40,000 feet. It's about 45, 50,000 feet.
Both the hail and the reflectivity off that cell heading toward Anna Maria is bright. It is impressive.
These are all wind reports for the last 24 hours. I'm going to go ahead and change this to 12 hours just so we can get kind of everything for today. So this is what we've seen so far today. And of course, you would expect it in these places where it is, right? A lot of these we've read off to you. Tarpon Springs, 54 mile per hour wind gust. Carrollwood out here, this is Temple Terrace, actually 51 mile per hour wind gust. That looks like Dunedin at 48. Bel Air at 47 mile per hour wind gust. 53, another one in Bel Air. Here's a third one here at 51. Did I get that? It was Tarpon Springs at 43. Yeah. So that's what we've seen just in the last 12 hours so far. And then you can see some hail that's been up towards Orlando. You might remember earlier when I showed you this graphic, we had a severe thunderstorm warning up in Orlando and to the northeast. That was one of the reasons why is that large hail. This is what Natalie was just referring to, where the new warning is. So Melbourne actually issues, NWS Melbourne issues for, this is our area here. I think they come down here too. But that's where Ruskin issues watches and warnings for, or warnings. Melbourne's over here. So they technically have this area, and that's why they did that. But we do not have any warnings in effect. We do have the marine warning, obviously, right here, which covers the Tampa Bay as well. Tampa Bay and, of course, all the coastal waters out in the Gulf. But no other active warnings at this particular point. The worst of this is now south of Tarpon Springs. It's right along this edge right here. Even West Chase is getting a little bit better now. But certainly most of Pasco, especially western Pasco, Hernando, and Citrus is much better. What we have offshore, a lot of this is going to go to the south and east, but not all of it. So you can see this batch here is going to come through here. I don't think there's much of a severe weather threat out here. Let's look at some velocity products. Yeah, I think we're looking pretty good as far as that's concerned, but that still has to come through. And this is kind of the soggy part that we were talking today about, it just being a soggy Sunday either way. No problem, Cheryl. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. Starting to get dark in Bradenton now. Yeah, I would say so. Look at that.
Real dark.
Let's go back out to the Skyway Bridge, see what that looks like now. Oh, there it is. So it started raining. But the heaviest, and the wind's picked up a little bit. You can see the chop out there on the bay. The happy's actually calmed down a little bit, but still some really good rain coming through. When is this enhanced?
Our first weather-related death.
Oh, serious?
Yeah, it's confirmed.
Oh, today?
20-year-old Hernando County woman killed a short time ago when a tree and power line fell on her car. She was trying to get out and was electrocuted
Oh,
near Spring Hill. We're about to get this story up on our website for you guys. Our
can
first,
you guys hear that? You might maybe say that a little bit louder if you can.
We just got this confirmed with our desk. They report a 20-year-old Hernando County woman was killed this morning when a tree fell onto her car, tree and power line, I should say, and as she was trying to get out, she was unfortunately electrocuted. And this was near Spring Hill. So we're working on getting that story up on our website right now.
Ugh.
Heartbreaking, heartbreaking.
Yeah, that is. So remember, guys, that car will actually protect you. Staying inside the car will protect you. The metal in the frame acts as what's called a Faraday's cage. It can take that electricity if it's on the car and spread it around the car and down to the ground. What likely happened in this case, we don't know, but likely the ground was electrocuted, right? It was
I
electrified.
wonder if, I don't know, we'll find out more, but I wonder if, depending how the tree fell, if she was almost like a lose-lose situation trying to get out from under a tree, also
Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't
avoiding
think
power
about
lines.
it, right?
Yeah. Ugh.
But if the power line's laying down on the ground and it's hot and the ground's wet, as soon as you touch the ground, it's going to conduct. Ugh. 20 years old. Yeah, best to stay home, guys, if you can. You don't need to go anywhere. It's probably a good idea today. All right, where are we at time-wise? 12:33.
12:33. I feel like it's 5:30. I feel like the sun's going down.
Uh-oh.
That was my move.
What's that?
Okay. Ham operator reporting damage and possible tornado near Southeastern University in Lakeland. Ham radio report.
Yeah. That is that area that we were watching.
Ah.
So Lakeland is okay now, but what we're hearing there is some damage out here in Lakeland. Is that what it said? Southeast University.
Southeastern
Yeah.
University.
Yeah, and that says that went through. So I'm going to back this up. Look, and see, remember, this is what we were talking about. This right in here. This was about 12:08. So this is about 25 minutes ago or so. But especially watch as this moves to the east. You see this here?
That got impressive real quick.
I mean, look at that.
Yeah.
Oh, let me move it over here a little bit. And you can follow it all the way through. I'm just going to come back again so you can see it. Yeah. And, you know, something similar happened up here on the front end of this, up in the Campbell area.
Several trees down. Let's see if we can get a call into that.
Where's this? Okay, that warning I'm getting on my phone is for the Polk County one. All right, east of Polk County, yeah. I don't do it by county, I do it by polygon that I drew, and it catches stuff that's over there. All right, sorry guys, trying to get caught up there. That's really sad. It happened up there in Hernando. All right, so strongest weather now, eastern Polk County through southern Polk County, the Bartow. That's that Highway 60 corridor in Polk County. Very heavy rainfall now. Man, Fishhawk, look at that, just came through. This is out towards Edison now. Not too impressive winds, that's good. That line just came across for Apollo Beach, Sun City Center now. There's Egmont Key, look at that, Egmont Key's got some pretty good wind over top of it. The gust front is now through Bradenton Beach, Longboat Key, just about there. Let's go down to we have Van Wezel. I don't know if I made that or not. Let me, sorry guys, I'm going to load up our Van Wezel camera because that should be looking pretty good now. Alright, I'm going to pull up this Van Wezel camera here and get it turned around a little bit. As soon as we get this thing looking to the northwest, we should see that line coming through. You can kind of see it there on the right hand side of the screen. Look at the winds there. They're coming towards the camera. That's out of the southwest. Most areas in the Tampa area now have seen that front come through with the northwesterly winds. And here it comes for Sarasota now. That is what's basically crossing the Skyway Bridge right now. Go ahead and leave it right there. We'll get a glimpse of that line as it comes through there.
So far, all the damage is passing.
All right, let's get back up to the bigger picture real fast. I want to show you what's happening offshore. We have a couple more thunderstorms trying to develop out there. You can see this this lightning out in here. See all that? Keep an eye on that area right there. And you'll see some lightning develop here just in the last 15 minutes or so. But the dynamics in the atmosphere can still give us a couple of good storms, but the highest chance for severe weather is along this leading edge right in here. And that's just pushing off to the south and the east like that. So looking pretty good at this particular point. Slowly making its way through our area. As a reminder, guys, we do have a severe thunderstorm watch in effect until 4 o'clock. That's the pink area that you see there. They may start taking that down, Pasco, Hernando, and Citrus County. They're not going to do any immediately, but they could pop out some of those counties.
Kind of start in a wave, just start
Yeah.
letting go.
Yeah, it's a big polygon, and they'll clip it off as it goes. Severe thunderstorm warning northeast of Polk County. Nothing for us in our area, but it's close enough for Polk County. And you can see that Orlando area is what's really getting the heavy storm right now. So that line that's coming through Williamsburg and Kissimmee right now is what they've warned for. Haines City, I mean, it's not much less, Poinciana area. Winter Haven, things are finally starting to clear up a little bit. Yeah, Nicole, no development. You don't have to worry anything about like that. That's definitely not going to be an issue. No hurricanes developing right now. So I want to take you back and let's do this 3D volume scan, because what I'm noticing now is it looks like we're finally starting to see this weaken a little bit. So let's put this into motion and look how much taller they were as they were coming on shore. In just the last couple of frames, you can see it's weakening. It's getting taller, right? You see the last frame. Well, what's towards Bradenton? Between there and say Fishhawk. Watch this area right in here. We're getting a little bit smaller from here to here. And that's basically indicating that the line is beginning to weaken a little bit. And we kind of expect that. That's what it should be doing. All right, so let's, I'm going to take a look a little bit about some radar. I've not talked much, I mean not radar, about precip. I haven't talked much about it at all, and here we go. So let's look at some of the rain estimates that we've seen. And some of the heavier spots up here in Citrus County, look at that, over 3 inches. Newport Richey, Trinity, over 3 inches. And this is the last 24 hours. So let me take this back down to 12 hours. I'm just going to get some of the rain that we've seen here. So Newport Richey, 2.8. Tampa area, northern Hillsborough, 1 to 2 inches of rainfall. Still adding up here in Lakeland, but 1.5 inches so far. I mean, this is much needed rainfall. Look out here east of Inverness, we've seen over 3 1/3, almost 3.5 inches of rainfall. Definitely needed that. Definitely needed that. All right, back out here to the winds. Things are looking pretty good. The line that's moving through now.
The
Watches.
line weakened a lot over the Skyway. I'm not even seeing.
Yeah.
Still has an advisory, so
Yeah.
it's traveling, no closure.
Yeah, look at the wind. I mean, we're looking at the winds now over the Skyway, and it's, you know, Doppler-wise, estimated in the 20s to near 30. That gets up 40 miles per hour, and they'll start issuing stuff for that.
There's been some overall weakening on the back.
Yeah, there has. You see the, here, I'll show you the 3D volume again. You can see it, especially in the last 15, 20 minutes. I'm going to make this just to a half hour.
These got really tall right over
Yeah.
Anna Maria, Bradenton. Look at that quickly it dropped.
It
Nice.
makes it looks better on an hour.
Up to about 700 power outages.
Power outages are 7,100. Let me Matrox.
Power outages, you're up to about 7,100 in this area, nearly 11,000 in the Orlando area.
Oh, okay. 7,100 here. 11,000. Whew. 11,000 up in Sorry guys, yeah, I'm trying to adjust something here.
There's something crazy out here. We're getting more reports in the same area.
Of
Damage, trees down, ham radio again now saying, I'm sorry, Polk County Fire Rescue reporting structural damage to a mobile home. Possible track.
oof.
Daisies.
All right, guys, let's show you. See if I can pull this up here. I want to show you the outages. Let's see if this is going to pop up here for me. It is not going to pop up. Okay, I'll just read them off to you. But we've got about 6,000 or 7,000 people in the Tampa area right now without power outages. Obviously, from this line coming through, we're trying to figure out. We've got perhaps a damaged mobile home in Polk County, I think it is. Natalie's over there checking in on that right now to find out more information. It's just kind of coming in. A lot of this stuff, obviously, we get bits and pieces when it comes in, so it's hard to, those types of things, we just can't read everything we're seeing right away here on Facebook because we need to confirm it before we can do that. But there's the bigger picture. You can see the line. Oh, they have trimmed back the watch now. So let me take you back over here and see if I can show you that. No, you're not going to see it. There it goes. So they've trimmed it back a little bit. So Citrus, Hernando, northwestern parts of Pasco, most of western Pasco, out of the severe thunderstorm watch now for the rest of the afternoon. And you can see they've extended all the way over to the east coast as well. And that just makes sense for all of this moving in that direction. And you can see, as we've been pointing out, that the most important part of this is all right in here, right? That's where the strongest weather is. Keeping an eye on these storms out here. They are moving in. Put that into motion for you. But even that's starting to dive off to the south and the east a little bit. So that'll be mainly a south of I-4 issue the next hour or so.
Okay, cool, thank you.
We got 12,800 TECO customers without power now too, so we're close to 20,000 power.
Jeez, 20,000 power outages. 12,800 TECO. So if you're losing power, you're not the only one. Parish getting it good. Duet, it's coming up. We're going to see it up there in the sky, of course. Dark clouds coming in. Natalie on the move. Yeah, she had to go get some confirmation. Quieter in Clearwater? Absolutely. Yeah, definitely quieting down now. Same thing in Bradenton. Sydney says windy, but that makes sense. So this cell you see out here is headed towards Duet. This thing's up there still. We still got some pretty good. Well, is it going to show me? It's not showing much. It's really come down. It's saying 25,000 feet. Maybe up towards 30,000 feet. But these things were up 45,000 feet earlier. So good news. Things are continuing the weekend. We were showing you that in that 3D volume scan from earlier. Hail tracks. So look at this hail that's been offshore. I mean, this is where we're looking at the hail now, but look at earlier. I mean, there was some big hail out there. Almost an inch in diameter in some of those areas. That's just when those storms really peaked earlier. Hence the marine warning we had out there. Yeah, there you go. 1 inch diameter hail. That's from earlier. Again, now, the hail threat now, obviously, is down here. Let's get in a little bit closer here to Parish. There's some hail there. Moving on, 62. That's about pea size, pea to dime size hail possible there. Closer to pea. There's a little bit more up here in Waimama. See that right there? That's moving out 674. And then we've got some out here on the leading edge of that line out there in Agricola. Yeah, that's probably about 0.4 to 0.3. Yeah, I think that's a little bit smaller. Look at the radar there. That's a smaller cell altogether. So, if you look at this shower right here, this is moving in this direction into what's already rain-cooled air, right? Winds come down out of these storms and cooled off this area all in here. So that takes a little energy out of the atmosphere. Before, when these storms were coming in, if we go back, let's see how far we can go back. Look at the angle of this line here. This line was like this, right? There had been some rain out here, but not a whole lot when I'm talking about when it's back here off the coast. Now that this line, instead of being kind of vertical like this, now it's a little bit more horizontal. So this rain here is moving into an area that's already cooled off. It's lost some energy. And so it going from this to this as it pushes through is going to take some of those storms and weaken them, and that's exactly what we've seen. And really that trend should continue. Now out here in Highlands County, we haven't seen much at all, and it's still warm out here, right? And so we're going to have some pretty decent storms come through. Again, because of the way that line is angling, that's going to change things a little bit for Highlands County, but you're still in the severe thunderstorm watch in Highlands County right now. So that means we could see winds in excess of about 60 miles per hour. Temperature-wise, let me come back out here. Those sites have been not reporting. But we're at low 80s. Sebring's about 80, 82 degrees, I'm guessing at this point. Arcadia about the same. Wauchula's actually cooling because of the rain. But look at 63 in Crystal River, 66 in Carrollwood and Clearwater. It is chilly. Major lightning in South Tampa right now. Flooding in 4th Street. Ryan Bass just sent that in.
Thank goodness the heaviest is pushing out. There'll still be some lingering stuff behind it, but
Yeah. It does feel like 5 o'clock. Is it like dark out yet? It feels.
it's been dark.
What are you doing here, Natalie?
It's been dark since 3 a.m.
Natalie, it was dark when Natalie came in at 3 a.m. It's still dark. Time we got 12:54 right now. Again, obviously, guys, as you can see, it's the leading edge of this that we need to watch right now. This area near Duet. No warnings. Excuse me. We do have the severe thunderstorm watch for everybody that's under that main line of yellow and orange that you see in red that you see there. You have a severe thunderstorm watch. So again, it's possible that we get winds in excess of 60 miles per hour. A lot of power outages. It's not just wind. It's also from the lightning, right? Hitting transformers, that type of thing. Please, please, please be careful if you come across power lines down, trees down on power lines. Do not go near that area. Don't try to fix it. Even if you don't see sparks, it does not mean it's dead, right? It could be active. You're not going to see that all the time. So treat it like it's active if you see down power lines. Cheyenne says winds are picking back up in the Lakeland area. Yeah, I can see that. Those storms are actually collapsing a little bit. When that happens, you tend to get a little bit more wind out of the storms. That usually happens when you have what we call more discrete cells, like our summertime thunderstorms. It's kind of one big thunderstorm. Little less of that happening when you have a big long line like we're seeing right now.
Looking for some more points.
Yeah, Cheryl says, once this part goes through, will it just be periods of rain? Yeah, that's pretty much it, Cheryl. There is lightning. I mean, you look at this cell that's offshore. I'll put this into motion for an hour, and you get the idea. This thing's kind of moving. It's actually kind of moving something like that, right? But there's still some thunder out there. And there'll still be a few storms out there. But this atmosphere is so worked over now from this first line that came through. Most of it's just going to be light rain. But it's probably going to last. And look at all this that's filling in here. See all this here? It's all just filling in. And it's all going to be moving in this direction. So it's a steady rain.
Alright, neighboring, you're clear now. Start the designation on that field.
What is great news is we got most of this through here before the Masters started. Brad, what's going on, man? Hope you're doing well. Good to hear from you. First bite of my breakfast I brought in at 9:30.
I had my first bite like right after the cut-in. Like I was like, I should probably eat something. I couldn't finish it though.
Now he's been in since 3 this morning. The whole show. I come in and get prepped for the show. And there's severe weather. I have a lot of other things to do. Things that go on Facebook, things that go on our 10tampabay.com page. A bunch of big weather page there. You can check that out. With a lot to do. And then do the show. And then now cover the weather that's coming through. Evelyn, good question. She asked, are these the storms that were in Panama City? This is part of the system. Not the same storms, but yeah, part of the same overall storm system. Typical thunderstorms, even the ones on this leading edge, last about 15 to 20 minutes. And then a new storm forms. Even in our summertime, it can happen. If you notice a big thunderstorm in the summertime, you just always see it kind of boiling up. Because part of that storm is collapsing. Is this storm strong in the northern part of the country? So let's go ahead and do that. We'll look at that, Chris. Come on now. Let's keep dying on me here. So there you go. There it's cranking up. I mean, Chicago area. But, you know, most of that right now it's just rain. It's warm. You've got a lot of warm air being pulled up the coast there. And a little bit of cool air coming in behind it, but not a lot. You might notice there's a little bit of snow up here coming down out of Canada, up in eastern Montana and the Dakotas. But yeah, here current temps around the country. I mean, 51 and raining in Chicago. That's not bad. It's not terrible. It's raining, but still. 77 in D.C., 68 in Tampa. Mom, if you're watching. I saw her on here earlier. That's pressure. So yeah, what went through Panama City the other day, and that was a big storm. Several big storms, obviously. That's kind of part of this system. In fact, if I show you here on the water vapor loop, let's come out. We'll go back 48 hours. Let's go back 2 days. See what we got. So watch Panama City area. Well, you can see the severe threats here, then it comes to here, and then it comes to here. So watch that whole area. And then it's firing up what we're seeing today. Right? So here's your low. Your low starts out over here, pulling up in front of it, ends up over St. Louis. There it is over St. Louis. And now today it's over Chicago. So what we've been tracking is this low. Where is it coming from? Starting right in here and just kind of doing something like this. And then on the south side of it, you get all of this energy coming through with the wind. And then you'll get these little waves coming through. I'll do that a little big. You see this little dip right there? Get little pieces of energy like that. And we're trying to time that energy. When's it coming through? What's it look above it and underneath it, where we are? And there you go. So, yeah, you get a pattern like this. That's why you got storms yesterday and storms today, because this low pressure that's sitting up here is just not moving very fast. So that's why we're actually watching this stuff here and saying, you know, it's not like a cold front comes through and pushes all the storms through and then we clear out, and in fact maybe even have some sunshine before sunset, right? Not necessarily today, because we've got all this moisture. It's not that low that I showed you up there near Chicago is not moving east or diving southeast and pulling everything through. It's just kind of, in fact, more than anything, it's moving a little bit to the north. So yeah, Oh, severe thunderstorm warning.
Nope.
What did they do this for?
Oh, it's not us.
Is it not us?
Morning, Manatee County, Polk County.
It's not
Yeah.
popping up.
Yeah. Didn't pump up there, but yeah. So we do have a new warning. It is for that cell that's out here. It's a severe thunderstorm warning. It's for the cell that's out here near Duet. We've been talking about this cell, of course. It's in effect until 1:30. Basically 15 miles northwest of Wauchula to about 11 miles west of Myakka City. 60 mile per hour winds and penny-size hail is what's possible with this. So Wauchula, Ona, Sweetwater, Fort Meade will be in there. Of course, Bowling Green and Zolfo Springs, Myakka Head, Duet, and Fort Greene. And here's what that looks like on the radar. Let me zoom in. You can see. Oh, why is it doing this? You can see the outline now down here. And so here you go. So it's basically right along the leading edge of this line. Let's take a look at the winds in there. There you go. That's what it is. See that? See those winds right there? 57. There's going to be some in there close to 60 miles per hour. You start seeing upper 50s in there. And Weather Service is going to pull the trigger on that, especially with the history that we've had with these storms today. So they're at or slightly below, but it's close. Well, we got trees down in Dead River Road in Hillsborough State Park. Yeah. Yeah.
Updated the warning.
Yeah, it didn't get it.
Nope.
Yeah, it didn't go out on the chat. But that's okay. We got it here. We got it in the computer, so we can get everybody going. We did get it on a crawl, so the crawl is going up too. Good. So severe thunderstorm warning in this area, guys, until what was it? 1:45, I think I said.
1:30.
1:30. What time? That's why I don't know what time it is. 1:03. So for 27 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and let me show you this. I want to put a track on this for you. I think it was. Come on. Move to these 40 miles per hour. So I'm going to go ahead and track that for you. Right along this leading edge. Take it through there. So Bowling Green, about 1:13. So you got about 9 minutes or so before it gets there. Wauchula, 1:21. Zolfo Springs, 1:30ish. Nielsen, not too long after that. And then eventually Avon Park as well. About 1:40, 1:45. Yeah, Natalie is all over. Raining hard in West Bradenton and some thunderstorms. Yeah, and you know West Bradenton is behind all of this. Although you're still on that line. I'm going to go ahead and move it out here. This is the southern end of that line. The wind there is less. I mean, clearly, this area right here is what we're showing. When I say wind, that's the high wind. That's the reason for the warning in that area. Bradenton, you can see you don't have the high winds there. Still some heavy wind. Still some heavy wind back behind this as well too. But obviously, main threat right now is going to be this area right here through Myakka Head and Vandala and out towards Wauchula. So expect 55, 60 mile per hour winds. Again, same thing, guys, right? Anything that can blow around in the yard, that type of thing. You're going to get some good winds coming through. Lots of lightning. You can see the lightning that comes with it as well, especially on Highway 17 and points east.
22,000 outages.
22,000 power outages at this point. Yeah, you can see, it looks like the lightning's even kind of flared up a little bit there. Let's look at this. I want to see if this thing's growing. Yeah, it looks like that's increased a little bit.
Hot tops again. I want to see
Yeah.
what those are doing.
I'm just going to do it for 30 minutes here and see. Oh yeah, certainly. Look at it a half hour ago. Oh yeah, see that? Look at the difference between that and that. See it growing? Yeah, so this is definitely surging a little bit.
We spoke too soon, Bobby.
Yeah, don't say that. There's the back side of the storm, Tampa Bay on your right. We're looking south now. And you can see the storm. We're just kind of going around this thing. You can see it kind of surge here just over the last half hour. Let me go back about 45 minutes and do this. And you'll notice it kind of fell apart and then it started to come back there. So let me get back out here. I want to kind of cut this thing in half and show you what we're looking at. 2 inches of rainfall in Highlands. Let's do this. So the storm's up there, 40,000 feet, yeah. Remember that they actually were starting to really kind of weaken a little bit. There you got a top up there around 45, 40, 45. I know it says 40 here, but we're actually looking further out from the radar. It's not that far, but a couple thousand feet up at least, two to three maybe. So you kind of add that on to whatever number you see there. And we've already approached 40,000 right there. That to me, guys, looks like a little hail core in there. I can't really make a point to it with this. Yeah. Let me clear this out. Oh, let me do this again. Definitely expect some hail in there. We could have some penny-sized hail. That's part of the warning. That's what they said. But this area right in here, that's moving towards Mayak ahead, that's about right there on the ground. That's hail. That's probably a little hail in there as well too. So let me let's just put this right back up and we'll go look at hail while we're here. And there it is. So let me get back here towards Mayaka. There's Ophel Springs. And we're thinking about penny-sized hail, and it's getting close to that. That's about penny-sized hail. There's a little bit, look at this larger south of Duet. Almost 1 inch diameter hail. Which, when you get to 0.88, that's the nickel size hail. That's the size where you end up with severe criteria. And voila, we've got it there. And a lot of times that's what the Weather Service will do. They'll find that and they'll be like, oh, we got an issue for that. That's got large hail. So that's part of the reason.
Was this potentially nickel size for this warning? For nickel size?
Yes.
Penny.
Penny, I think is what they said in that. Let me get back out here. Where are you posting that? I'll let them know.
On the 10 Weather Network.
Gotcha. Okay, so let's. They did not say. It doesn't look like.
Okay. There's a strong damaging winds up to 60 miles per hour.
Yeah. Oh, penny size hail. Penny. Cool. Yeah. Penny is what they said. Sorry. All right. So there's the warning area. You can see in the orange there. But when I put the radar back on, look at Duet. It's coming through there right now, but it's almost done. Man, yeah, it's really cranked up here. Wind-wise, it's just straight line winds that we're worried about. Now, yesterday, Bradenton, we had people reporting it was a tornado went through. I think Manatee County EMS was reporting a tornado. I mean, they showed up, they saw the damage, and people were saying it was a tornado, and so they kind of threw that out there very quickly. That will get confirmed by the Weather Service, but the Weather Service already went out ahead yesterday afternoon and said it was not a tornado, it was straight line winds. It can sound like a tornado, you know what I mean? Winds are loud, and especially when they do damage. And straight line winds can do damage, right? Imagine a hurricane, right? Hurricanes has tornadoes. They do have tornadoes in them, but mainly on the outer rim. When you get near the core of a hurricane, when you get those high winds, and it gets loud and you get damage, that's sustained winds, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 miles per hour, right? These winds are 60, 65 mile per hour. And likely what happened in Bradenton yesterday was even more than that, because I was seeing upwards of 85 mile per hour winds. In fact, I had one that said 88 was an estimate. So, yeah, it can sound like a tornado, doesn't necessarily mean a tornado. But what they'll do is they'll go out there and do a storm survey if they think it could have possibly been a tornado, and see, you know, where the trees snapped off in half, or some this way, some that way. You know, if everything's blown in one direction, you kind of get the idea it was straight line winds, right? If things are all over the place and then you go 30, 40, 50 yards away and you've got them going the other direction, then you could have ended up with rotation there. Very high winds near Bowling Green. Now, this is part of the warning area, but wow, guys, look at that. While I was talking here, the latest scan just came in. That's 67 estimated by the radar here. Of course, it's just an estimation, but it's got to be higher than that. I think there's a couple spots in there close to 70-mile-per-hour winds. It's getting close. So watch that, Torrey, Bowling Green, and Wauchula. This is coming through. If you have issues with power, expect the power could go out in that area as that wind comes through, obviously. Vicky up so far, good. All right. So just looking at winds, and again, the velocity helps us kind of see wind a little bit, well, quite a bit. You can see this is the area of concern, and that's where our warning is too. See this right here?
So severe thunderstorm watch has been dropped for Citrus, Hernando, Pasco.
Citrus, Hernando, Pasco. Okay, let me show you this one here. Oh, yeah. They had done that a while.
Oh,
I don't know why that's just coming in.
It's just now coming in.
Yeah. Yeah. This has been like this for a while now. But you know what? Let me show you this. This one was not. So they do it for polygons and they do it for the county codes. Polygon's been cut back for a while. It's SPC. So here are the current watches and warnings, guys. Citrus, Pasco, Hernando in the clear as far as severe thunderstorm watches go. You do not have a watch. Everybody else does still, although Pinellas could get pulled out of this here pretty quickly. We'll have to watch that one little cell that's left over just offshore. See that one? That's actually flaring up a little bit too. You see this offshore here?
Yeah, I've been keeping a close eye on that one.
Yeah. Winds look good right now at that point, but you can see it's definitely flared up a little bit. Let's watch this one. See what it looks like this past hour. Oh yeah, it's definitely getting bigger. So yeah, we got to watch that one as well. But you see where the reds are there. And this 3D volume, when I show you this, we've kind of like simplified the radar a little bit so it's not, it kind of combines all the stronger parts of the storm. Instead of seeing a bunch of different colors, you notice you really only see a few colors, yellow, orange, red. A little bit less than what you would see the detail of just regular radar. But that way we can focus on the important parts there. Yeah, and that cell offshore is getting pretty big, but that may actually weaken a little bit. It is going to clip southern Pinellas County. So if I had to make the call, I don't think I would take Pinellas out yet, only because of that.
Oh, that makes sense.
You know what I mean? Is this going to clip it? 'Cause it's not really. I mean, it's doing something like this. St. Pete at 230.
It just takes a little bit of that building on the northern tier to allow it to clip the county.
Yeah, right. I'm really surprised how much energy. I mean, you can see it's filling in right here. So the rain that came through earlier cools this area out ahead of it. But we still have a solid southwest wind here, and so that's helping to feed this. But again, here's a look at the winds right now, so that's really good. I mean, clearly, our concern right now is this area here. Very high winds. That's 65 mile per hour winds. Look at that, right on the nose. Nicole, if the storm grows in height, it's generally a stronger storm. There's a couple different things. it can grab more wind. Like there's usually, and in this case, when you go higher up, there's more wind. And if the storm is taller, the air is going up in the storm and coming down in the storm. And if you get a downdraft coming down and it's running into wind that's going 65 miles per hour up here, it can push that air down. And instead of the stream going like this, the stream goes down to the ground. And you get gusty winds like what you're seeing right here. So you also have freezing level, which is about 15,000 feet or so. I didn't even look at the numbers for today, but it's usually anywhere this time of year from 13,000, 14,000 feet. But from that point north, I mean up, it's below freezing. These are up about 40, 42,000 feet, these taller ones. So you've got a good, 25, 1,000 feet worth of below freezing. And as a result, you make hail, right? So taller the storm, you can grab more wind and pull it down. You can get more wind. You can get hail. And the more hail you have bouncing around in there, the more lightning you can get, because hail bouncing off each other creates essentially static electricity and builds charges up in the clouds and is trying to equate the charge down to the earth. And so the more hail that's bouncing around up here, the more that charge is. Imagine just like rubbing that balloon on your hair, right? That's that hail bouncing into each other. And then you touch it and pop. Not the balloon, but you connect that and you get that discharge. So there's the winds, we see that. There's the hail in the same spot. I know it's tough to see. This hail is just got to be changed. Let's do this. There's the hail. Don't want to do that. So yeah, you can clearly see the hail now up here towards Bowling Green, half-inch. This is that cell with all the wind right here, Mayaca Head.
Hillsboro's been dropped from the warning.
Yep. From the warning. Okay,
The
yeah,
warning,
good. All right, so let's take you back out to that. Let's look at the warning. Oh, they just
They smushed it a
There it
little
is,
more
yeah.
to the side.
So that's what's left of the severe thunderstorm warning. You can see what's left of in the pink, the severe thunderstorm watch: Polk, Hillsboro, Pinellas, and southward. Severe thunderstorm warning is mainly Hardy County. There's a little bit of southern Polk County in it, and just a little bit left of Manatee, which will come out of here soon too. Yeah, and so now this is in effect until 1:30. About another 11 minutes or so from now. That's a good storm. Oh yeah, Cheryl, it really has. The technology nowadays. And we have what's called dual pole. We haven't even talked about that. Oh, let me show you. Let's look at this CC real fast. What is worth a watch? Look at that. I mean, it looks like maybe it's picked up branches or something. Look at this.
I was just zooming in on that.
Look at the CC. Coming right along with that. So what we're talking about, this area right here, it's a correlation coefficient. So I'm going to draw something on here in a minute. If you look at the wind, that's not a tornado, but it almost looks like it has picked up some debris or trees or branches or small debris, leaves being picked up as those winds went by. So I'd be interested if we end up with any damage reports or anything like that right on Highway 62. In the Bowling Green area. So let me show you something else. So when we go with radar, I'm going to put the regular radar up here so you can just keep seeing that while I'm talking here. I'm going to draw, this is a raindrop, okay? Nice big circle, right? Here's the radar over here. Radar sends out a signal that goes like this. And it bounces off the raindrop and it comes back, right? That's up and down. And I explained earlier how it can see, if this comes back like this, that means that this drop is coming towards it. If it comes back like this, that means that it's moving away from it. That's how we see rotation. In this case, it would be like that, right? Get rid of all that. Another thing that does, now what we have is called dual pole radar, is here's your circular raindrop, right? Remember, we've got one coming at it from top to bottom, but dual means two of them. We've got another one, but I can't draw it this way, but instead of top to bottom, it's going side to side. So if you're looking down on it, it's going like this. So now we get a cross section here and a cross section here. So if they're equal, which they should be, right? Because it's a circle, it should be just about as tall as it is wide. That would say it's rain. So we use the CC to do that. Now, I see high winds, and then I see this on the CC. That is telling me it's not equal. So even if I look at this number here, if it's going to show me, it's going to tell you 0.95 versus right there, 0.99. Right? So that's really good. That's pretty round. That's not as round. And what happens in a tornadic situation especially is you can see debris show up on radar using that. So when I see high winds right here, and I went back a little bit, you see this right here? That's a swath of really high winds. 65, almost 70 mile per hour winds are possible in there. So then I'm like, well, let me look and see if anything developed there. Let me back up. And you see all this right in here? I mean, that you can have that happen, that's all right. But that, when it gets shaped like that, in the middle of green, or round all around it, you start paying attention. And now you can see it's not an issue. It's spread out. Call those debris balls when you're tracking tornadoes.
Good morning. Public promotions.
There you go.
All my food everywhere.
Huh?
All my snacks.
Oh yeah,
drinks.
you did. Look at you. All right, let's jump around on some cameras here. I'm actually going to take this out to the big picture. Let's jump around to a couple cams. Let's go downtown Tampa. Right there, looking a little bit better. Take you out to the beach. There you go. Gray day, more rain coming. And raining right now, obviously, but at least the storms are over for the most part. Same thing in Mahaffey Theater. All of this, remember, is behind all that line. Armature works. Let's go downtown Tampa. You can see that's 275, by the way, that bridge in the distance. Going over the Hillsborough River. Blake High School is just to the right of this camera shot. That's from the station here. The west end of the Gandy Bridge. We're looking back to the northeast. Downtown Tampa is right in the middle of the screen. You're not going to be able to see it at this particular point. And Lakewood Ranch is back up. All right, we lost the camera yesterday. They had a power outage yesterday, so it's back out. And it's raining pretty good in Lakewood Ranch right now. Tampa International, much better out in Tampa International right now. So things definitely quieting down a little bit. Let's get back to the radar. Still that severe thunderstorm warning in effect for Hardy and parts of Manatee. Not really much left of it. You can see it's right out in here. There's where that warning is now. Put that into motion for you.
It just took this stuff so long to push south.
Yeah, so the Weather Service just talking. This is great. The guys at the guys and girls out at the National Weather Service in Ruskin. Remember I was talking earlier about the orientation, how the line initially was kind of vertical, right, of storms, and now it's kind of laid down a little bit. That vertical line gives us a better chance for severe weather just because of the warm air really leading out ahead of that whole line. But now that it's laid down a little bit, they're saying that the severe weather chance is lessening just a little bit. Not done yet, but definitely a lot less than what it was. Yeah, good point, Nicole. Take the dog out. The dogs haven't been able to go out.
I guess. I'm a way to tell.
Huh?
I gotta be back up.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you for everything.
Thank you for your help.
So I'm trying to hear what you guys are saying. It sounds like I know you were saying 2, but
Yep.
Yeah.
We got literally a half an hour for this thing to go through Highlands County, and we'll see what happens to that cell offshore.
yeah, we're not gonna cut it to Masters.
No. I'm trying not to run a crawl through the Masters.
That's fine.
Don't want to do because they
Don't cover the hole.
no. Well, they put the score is now in the lower right hand corner of the Masters, and that's where the bug is. So I've got to create a new one up there, and I'm going to do that today. But we'll get it done.
Okay. Thanks for coming in, Bonnie.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Of course.
That was good coverage. We've got crews going up. Sounds like most of the stuff is there. And most of Orlando. So we'll keep checking if there's anything else. But thank you.
Cool.
Yeah, thank you for your help.
Thanks, Mike. Have a good one, man.
Okay.
Yeah, Mike will be back in here. What time you coming back in here?
Me,
Yeah.
probably around 2:30, maybe 3
Yeah.
o'clock.
I don't know why I take my glasses off to hear him. What time are you going to
You
be
do
back
that
in?
a lot.
Well, I can see great. I have like 15, 20 when I look distance.
Yeah.
But from looking at my phone, I'm like, I've got that thing cranked up so I can read fine.
Yeah.
But when I turn and look at you, like I guess these glasses are okay, but if I got to go like this to see. Are you glad I'm telling you all about this?
Well, it's like when you turn the radio down to see the.
Yeah, right.
Guilty.
What?
Yeah. You gotta turn the radio down.
Wait!
to
I'm
see
looking
where
for
you're
my
going.
looking for my exit.
Looking for my exit.
Yeah. Well, the thing about getting old is like you care. You don't care. Like I know I look like an idiot, but I'm like, well, it's all right.
What'd you say?
You notice I'm telling her I'm not agreeing with her. I'm letting her know because of how young she is that's what will happen. What does Jimmy Buffett say? He says he went to Paris. He says the old man's losing his hearing, but he doesn't care what most people say. It's kind of a thing that happens. Especially like old crotchety guys, right? You're just like, get off my lawn.
I do that now. What's my excuse now?
Well, yeah. I guess that's what I'm bragging about. The older you get, that's what you get as an excuse,
More
right?
acceptable.
Yeah, right. All right, you can see that. I'm going to zoom back into the severe thunderstorm warning we have. Again, this goes to about 1:30,
1:30.
because 1:29 right now. It is weakening a little bit, but they might actually extend this. Oh yeah, they'll extend that. That should go out into Sebring. Now, keep in mind, again, guys, the radar is 41 miles away. So we're probably at this point, let me do some math here. We're probably looking at about 3,000, 4,000 feet in the air over Hardy County. So I expect to see a lot of wind here, right? In fact, as this gets towards Cruiseville and out towards Coleman and Sebring, you're probably going to see a lot of returns here that look like this brighter color. Not all of that's making it to the ground. It's just that the thing's actually looking higher in the atmosphere. Cheryl says she doesn't care either. Nicole, I live next to the expressway. Even the lights in the interstate were out as it was very dark. Wow. Lost power out on the interstate on I-4, it looks like.
Bobby and Natalie. All right, we passed her.
Huh?
Just, nothing to worry about this backflow, right?
No, we have to watch it. I think we're fine, though.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we're fine.
Autumn's in at 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I can be back here fairly quickly.
Oh, we don't
if
need
needed. It sounds like we're in
No.
pretty good shape.
Yeah.
You guys are good. We'll have a director from each as well if you could pick up this up.
Yeah.
Sarah's.
That's right, yeah.
Oh, is she? Okay.
So she's aware, and she'll be in kind of early, just in case
It's a new discussion.
she's early Troy.
Okay.
I'm not gonna call in a second reporter at this point, I don't think we need it. Madison will have plenty to cover. Natalie's got a lot of stuff on social, that Monica covers some of the social clips, I sent that out on Slack. If you guys wanna help her look at some of them, just to make sure we're all legit, they look really good.
Cool. Yep.
So.
Yeah. It's just gonna be follow up on the damage reports.
Yeah, Daisy's out in Polk, she's checking those areas, we're sending Albert up to Hernando to spray the
Okay.
location where the unfortunate master light, and work his way down Pasco, grabbing some of the other areas. There was a restaurant that was damaged in Newport Richie, but they were planning to stay open,
Okay.
they had some roof damage.
Outdoor seating
So,
plays well with the pandemic.
it does.
We gotta make lemonade.
There's some stories there. All right, folks.
Thanks, Mike. Appreciate it. Hey, people on here
Thanks for
said,
coming in, man.
people online said thank you.
You're welcome, everybody.
He'll be back at 2 a.m. You want to chat with him then? 2:30.
Significant weather advisory.
Yeah, Mike's one of our managers. He's normally Monday through Friday on the morning show, but every few weekends or so, we have a manager on call every weekend. They take turns, and this happened to be his weekend, which apparently we just figured out because it usually happens when it's on his weekend.
Oh, yes.
Yes. All right. So if they let that severe thunderstorm warning expire, so no more severe thunderstorm warning at this particular point for Hardee County or DeSoto or even Highlands. And again, probably we've lost the storms are weakening a little bit. We've lost the amount of wind that they were looking at, and again, we're looking higher in the atmosphere from the radar, so we expect to see a little bit more of that wind that's there. But still a decent little storm coming through there. Oh, now we've switched over to here. Yeah, there you go. So yeah, there's definitely some good wind coming through there. Towards Lake Placid eventually as well too. Not yet. All right, let's get you back to the big view here. Kind of let this run in motion for a little bit. I think the next thing up, really, besides Highlands County and southeastern Polk County, Sarasota, this is kind of weakening as it comes through. I really think the one thing we're going to watch is just this line that's offshore, and it's coming pretty quickly, too. And I think that's going to get most of Pinellas, certainly Clearwater south. I need you over here and drive the... I've got to figure out why this doesn't load automatically.
Yeah, some of those heavier pockets keep filling in closer and
Yeah.
closer to Pinellas. I think you're right.
Back out to the beach. Nope, that's not it. There's the beach. I'm trying to figure out what's going on with the tide coming out of the inlet here. It almost looks like the tide's going out. The high tide I thought was at 2:30. That's pretty wild. Look at that. And wind's out of the west-northwest. Look at that. Isn't that wild?
Definitely wouldn't want to be out there. What if
Well, anyways, there's the beach. In fact, you know what? I'm going to keep it. Sorry, guys. I'm going to keep it here on the in this direction because that's where the core of that line is going to come through. Let's just go right there. There we go. So let's go back down to Lakewood Ranch. Still some decent rain coming through. You can see that steady rainfall. That's much, much needed rainfall too. That's good stuff. That is at least one good side effect of it. St. Pete still seeing some rain. Look at, yeah, I was going to say some breaks, but that's just dark clouds on the right. Downtown Tampa coming up here. It's a gray day out there. So we got that camera up. This is not Van Ways. I'm going to turn that off. Let's go to the router again here. Let's try this. There's the Skyway. Camera bouncing around. But look at the water. I mean, the water's not too bad as far as winds go. Not terrible out there. Let's go down and take a look at some of our peak gusts. See what some of our peak gusts for today. Well, all right. So now these are coming out of automated stations, ASOS's, Automated Surface Observation Station, I think is what it stands for. But we've seen plenty of gusts in the 40s and 50s today. Individual gusts that are not part of that network that you're seeing right here. But you can see definitely quite a bit of wind. Quite a bit. Let me go take you up here and turn the winds on. Our radar. I'll give you a better idea where that front is. You know what, let's come to this one. It'll be easier to see. So I turn the winds on, and frontal boundary looks like it's sitting right in here. That's where we're seeing the wind shift. Yeah. So still south-southwest winds out ahead of it. Now, when the storms came through, I don't know if you could see this, but it looks like we got a little bit of wind like this here. Not a lot. Well, I think it's more going to be more of a northwesterly wind, but that frontal boundary is still back out to the west, and that'll be coming through later this evening. But I think it's just going to be some pretty decent rainfall. As it does come through. So yeah, you see it enhanced rain there west of Hernando, Citrus County. Don't expect severe weather out of that. In fact, you can see the severe thunderstorm watch has been dropped for that area. But again, it is going to rain really good and stay soggy all afternoon. So we could get into those situations where areas that tend to flood when you get a lot of rainfall could be flooding, because now with that coming back up, there are going to be some spots in Hernando and Citrus that get 4+ inches of rainfall between yesterday and today. And in fact, they could get almost 4 inches today. So computer showing a little bit of rotation out here. You see all these? That does look suspicious, but I don't think that's an issue because we're looking up high in the atmosphere. That definitely looks interesting. This is so high up in the atmosphere, it would be really hard to trigger a tornado warning, because tornado warning, you're assuming it's on the ground or close to touching down. Seeing rotation high up in the sky is not necessarily indicative of tornado. You just don't know. So that's a little far out for that. Put some good little cells going through there. This one coming through the Sebring area, mainly southwest of town. That one's got that's going to have a lot of wind in it. This thing right in here. That wind's coming in like that. It's going to head towards Lake Placid. Yeah, there you go. You can see all that wind there. Rain coming back in. You can see that Pinellas, Hillsborough, Pasco, everybody's seeing some pretty decent rains now. The stuff offshore of Pinellas is not looking terrible, so that's really good news there too. Just heavier downpour. You see that energy is just like this, right in between those. So South St. Pete will get it, Tierra Verde, St. Pete Beach, Paso Grill. Downtown St. Pete probably going to get a piece of that too. 1-inch diameter hail. Where was this? This was Wauchula. Yeah, remember we were just looking at the hail out there. They've measured about 1-inch diameter hail. Good, Cheryl. I hope you are. I appreciate you saying that. That's the thing about, I'll be honest with you, I can't stand Facebook. Everybody's an expert on everything. Supreme Court, politics, everything. COVID. I post pics of the family on my personal page because I have family that lives up north. And it's a great way to be able to catch up with people over time. But Facebook Lives, I really like being able to do these. And the main reason is because I can read your comments live. So I can, I'm not going to say all the right things that you may have questions about, but now you can literally just ask me the question and I can answer it. And there's no time constraints. I'm not cutting in over golf or football or anything like that really make people mad. So this is one aspect of it that I really, really like. I like to be able to do this. And if you notice, I do a lot of just radar streaming as well too, because that way, you can put that on your phone, just open it up and follow me on that and just see that. So if you're watching on the 10 Tampa Bay page, it's Bobby Deskin's Weather. That's what you want to search for my page. Go ahead and like and follow that. And if you like and follow, I think it will alert you anytime I go live. But that is the one good part of Facebook, is that you can do these lives. I saw another meteorologist put something on Facebook yesterday. It's a whole detailed, here comes the rain, it's going to be heavy at times, possible severe, start at 1 p.m., finish at 8 p.m. And the first comment, well, it wasn't even the first comment, the main comment that was there is like, is it going to rain? And that's frustrating. Because, you don't know if they're kidding. It would be funny if they were kidding. But you just don't know. Anything more for West Chase? John, yes, you can see what's coming offshore there, and some of it will be actually heavier at times coming through, and there will be a couple thunderstorms still. But severe weather threat for West Chase? No, I don't see that happening now. Yeah, I don't think that will be a big deal. Abel, thank you, sir. Victoria, you're welcome. No problem. We've got. Have you checked with Autumn? I have not talked to Autumn.
Yes, she did follow up that she's on her way.
Sweet, awesome. We got to get Natalie home. She's been at this for 11 hours, and it's not a hurricane.
It's not a hurricane, but that trains us.
Yeah.
That trains us well for the marathon.
Always to do this good in April, right?
Yeah.
Just get practice for that.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
It's been a long time.
Yeah, it has been. It's been quiet. We've been dry. So yeah, you look at all this rain. Again, let's go back and look at the precip. I got to change this. This precip is for 24 hours. I know it says that, but I'm going to change it real fast because I just want you to see what we've seen today, essentially. So today, well, let's go up to West Chase almost, a little north of West Chase, 1.33 inches. There'll be some areas more than that. Yeah, 2 inches. I'd say about an inch and a half to 2 inches. Clearwater. 1 3/4. St. Pete, over 2 inches. Some heavier rain here in southwest, 2.5 inches in Newport Richey. Hudson's probably even more than that, just about the same. This area here, yeah. Look at this Plant City area out to Lakeland. Now this is radar estimate. This is not in a bucket, but the radar is kind of seeing the rain. It's keeping track as the rain's falling. It's looking at the intensity of the rain, right? Over 4 inches in the
Highlands
Plant
County.
City area.
Highlands County till 2:15.
Yep. All right. So they just issued another warning. It's a severe thunderstorm warning for Highlands. It's the same thing that we've been showing you, and it's in effect until 2:15, and basically 60-mile-per-hour winds. And again, that's what we're showing you. See that? See these brighter colors in here. And you know what I noticed? See, it's not. You see how it is spreading out a little bit. It's not as concentrated, so it's probably weakening. But some of these numbers in here, I mean, that's going to be 65, 70 miles an hour. Yeah, there you go, 68. So, yeah, that's severe weather criteria right there. There is this thing, our computer's telling us that there's some rotation here. Yeah, certainly a little something here. I don't think it's anything to worry about. It's been doing that on this leading edge anyways. And when we switch back over, this is the Melbourne radar right here. See where it says early down there? And then when I come back over here, this is the Tampa Bay radar, and you don't see it as much on that one.
So it's moving east at 40 miles per hour. It was warned for 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and quarter-size hail.
60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and quarter-size hail. Let's take a look at the hail now. That didn't sound good. Hail now. Hey. Yeah, 3/4 inch hail. Again, if that number was 0.8 or higher, or 0.88, really, that's what calls for severe weather. Is that an inch? Because it's moved up to an inch. It used to be 3/4 inch, but now it's an inch for severe weather criteria. Either way, there's some hail coming through there. This is where the hail's been. Last 3 hours. I wonder if it'll go out any further.
Quarter is an inch, yeah.
So there's where the hail has been. I mean, you can see, and I think this only goes back about an hour. Let's see. So there's where we basically have seen hail today. I'll have to go back 2 hours here, sorry. Alright, so I'm going to loop the hail that's come through today. And you really want to pay attention to those brighter spots, of course. That's where we've had the larger hail and even the better chance of seeing it. This is back 3 hours. Yeah, okay, good. There you go. We should roll on this. Not a whole lot of reports of hail, and certainly no hail damage reports today. Check that out, Natalie. That's 3 hours worth of hail.
Thankfully, the brightest spots were when it was well over water.
Yeah.
But still, there's some isolated areas there. I feel like even some of the few reports we've had is already more than we normally would.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Well, and we knew that was kind of part of the threat. Cooler air aloft obviously makes more hail. It also makes the storms a little bit more robust, and there was also wind there as well too. And so cooler air is dense, and you've got warm air rising into it, and cooler air will fall faster, and so that can help pull down those winds. And so that's part of the reasoning. That's why we know 24, 48 hours, sometimes even more in advance, hey, we're probably going to get a lot of hail, and with that some gusty winds. Because we can just look at what we call soundings, forecast soundings, which says here's what the weather is at the ground, and here's what it is all the way up, temperature, pressure, dew points, and winds. Especially, that's one of the things we want to see. So that's what we look for at that. All right, back out over here to the radar. Some pretty good little. These are. Look at the shape of these. It's not one solid line. It's starting to get a little bit elongated. So I would imagine this to weaken a little bit. Let's go and look at our volume here, right? We'll go and look at the 3D volume, see if you can get a sense of them weakening. This is just the last hour. Don't get nervous. I just joke.
Oh, I hit my sneeze earlier.
Yeah, right. There's something in this building. We all sneeze. I sneeze every day for 12 years. 13 years.
So the second batch is not working.
Yeah. So you could see that they're weakening a little bit. Can you get that idea a little bit? Just how they're a little bit shorter there. So smaller storms generally have a little less. And speaking of which, let's go out and look at this cell that's over here by Pinellas and Manatee. It's flared up a little bit. However, the atmosphere that it is moving into is much cooler. We've already had storms come through this area, and so it's kind of spent, if you will. There's just a lot less energy there to work with. So these things aren't going to get all that big. Now you look a little bit further up offshore of of Hernando Citrus, starting to develop a couple good little thunderstorms here, but they're real small at this particular time. And I don't expect any issues out of that. You can see those way up there. So certainly some thunderstorms are possible, but the severe weather threat is just about done here. I think once we get this warning that's in Highlands County done, we'll be good. So higher is not as bad if it is cooler. No, cooler aloft, cooler higher is usually kind of bad because the warmer air is down here on the surface. But what's happened is the storms that came through brought down, how temperatures went from the 70s down to the low 60s, right? That's because colder air aloft came down with the rain. Now there's less warm air down here on the surface to rise back up. And so you have this second line trying to come through here, but there's not as much energy already here. I mean, when the first line came through, it was in the mid to upper 70s. That's more energy. And then you had the line come through. Now it's in the low 60s, and you have a line coming through. So there's just less energy at the surface to make the storms. It's not necessarily what's aloft. It's still cold up there. Jennifer, I'm seeing them on a couple of different Facebook Lives. I see yours. I think you're on the 10 Tampa Bay in the comments. And I'm also on my page over here. I've got an iPad and an iPhone kind of set up here so I can look at the two different ones. And I'm on my YouTube page too, Bobby Deskin's Weather. Go like that, but I can't see those comments and questions right now. Pretty good little storms offshore. Look at this little outflow too. Look at that.
Some
Yeah.
decent rain.
I'm wondering, what level is that outflow coming out? Maybe it's lower. 15. It can't be. So you got 50 knots at 15,000 feet all the way up. I mean, you got 100 knots when you get up 35,000, 40,000 feet. So that's some good wind up there. Yeah, this says summer right here to me. You see this? That little circle right there. It's trying to go further, but there's wind coming in from this direction on that. You see the end right in here. You see that?
Yeah.
That's trying to expand out this way a little bit, but it can't because that wind's coming in. But it reminds me of watching hurricanes.
Yeah, those
Oh, Southwest quadrant starting to have some outflow.
No, don't say the H word.
All right, let's get back down in here for the radar again, a little bit closer, guys, so you can see. We do have the severe out here. It's in Highlands County. In fact, it's actually starting to push out of there now. Sebring, you still got a good line coming through. It's tough to see here. Let me draw the polygon here. Something like this. That's where the severe thunderstorm warning is in there right now. So Lake Placid, Coleman, Plains, Sebring, all those areas out there. That is where the severe thunderstorm warning is, although we still have some wind left over. But again, we're looking higher. Look at, oof. Let's see what this is. Let's slice this thing here in half. Yeah, it's getting up there. It's starting to grow back up closer to 40,000 feet. Kind of good damage reports coming out of Lakeland. We'll have to confirm that. I want to let the news.
Yeah, I'll drop it to Susan.
Yeah, perfect. So guys, this is what you're seeing here now. It's just literally slicing it right in half. Right? If I spin this, let me try and do it this way. It's just going to roll right with it, but just take it and splice it in half. Helps me see how tall the storms are, what the top of the structure is, what the inner core structure is. So that one section is just about now reaching Pinellas, Indian Rocks, southward, Reddington Shores, Boca Ciega, Tierra Verde. Yeah, it's coming. Oh, there it is. Just updated. Look at that. Let's go down to our Clearwater cam. It should look pretty good right now. Oops, way back up here. Here's Clearwater cam. So the heaviest is actually coming in south of here, which we're looking towards, but you can see the heavy rain in the distance there. Now, wind-wise with this, there's not a lot. You can see that. It's nothing like what we have in that warning that's out there. But certainly lightning, we still have more lightning coming in. It's a little bit more than what has been there. And this is going to go all the way, through western Manatee and even parts of Sarasota. Let me loop this for you. We go about 30 minutes since I'm zoomed in here. mph, Lake Alfred. Near Winter Haven. Are we still streaming the radar? Do you know, online, Facebook? Oh, I don't know, because we're doing this on 10. I want to go up here while we're here. because we're hearing some things coming out of Polk County in the Lakeland area that there could have been perhaps some damage. So I'm gonna just roll this here because it'll be saved on Facebook and we can use the recording.
Radar and traffic is still streaming.
Okay. Okay, good. Yeah, look at this.
Let me go check it.
So we're hearing some damage coming out of Polk County in the Lakeland and Polk City area, and I imagine it's got to be from this that was at 12 after 12. We were covering this for you. I mean, this is estimated 60, 70 mile per hour winds. There's going to be some more than 64 in there somewhere. And again, this is just an estimate, 65. But when this came through, look at that. Let's even, there's one on the south side. Look, this is a little bow like we were talking about. Look at the south end, you look at the north end. Look, it's a little interesting right there. It was about 20 after 12 today. Let's go out to live now. We're fine there in Polk County as far as severe weather threat goes. The severe weather is down here. In fact, when there's a big picture, you can see northern parts of Highlands County has a severe thunderstorm warning. Watch still in effect, just a watch for Pinellas, Hillsborough, and you can see Polk County southward. That should be going away here pretty soon here. There they go. Continuing it for, are they changing it? So let's see if anything is going to show up here changed. Oh, so here's what they've done. They've expanded it to South Florida.
Yeah.
So that means if you have any family or friends in South Florida, Fort Myers and below, all the way down to Miami, almost to Key Largo, they now have a severe thunderstorm watch in effect until 8 o'clock tonight. And that means they could see some severe thunderstorms. If you look at the radar now, look at the local radar, you can see it's all up here, right? We're the ones dealing with it, but they're getting out ahead of it here. You can see the watch that now extends all the way down south. I mean, look at these winds down here, coming in off that warm water over the Everglades. That's just moisture. And you know, they've seen more sunshine. They're warmer. This air is cool now. It was rain-cooled air in the low 60s. It's running into air that's in the 80s here,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of wind.
It's gonna fire it up.
It's going to fire that up. It's Autumn here? Have you heard from her?
Not since from last time. Maybe she's stuck in one of these bands. That's the worst when I come into this building and it's soaking,
Oh, yeah.
just soaking wet.
Yeah, heavy rain's coming through now, too. Radar streaming on Facebook and YouTube. Tina, thank you very much. Appreciate it. This is going to get some real good rain for Manatee County. And look at this moisture coming up here, and it's left over the front line. I mean, look at the
Yeah.
first line's left over, and here comes the second line, and watch them come together.
Yeah. excited for those areas
Good
that
rain right there.
really need this. So practically everyone.
All right, so guys, we still have the warning out here in Highlands County. Now, let me actually zoom out a little bit. The warning, this is the south end of it here, right? But you can see all of this in here starting to get, out of the area. So this is what's kind of left in it, Lake Placid area and over the southwest side here, or northeast DeSoto County. And it's all building to the south, so things should be weakening in that warned area here pretty quickly here. Look at Vero Beach. There. Need to get it pretty good over there. Good storm going through now. All right. So that's the warned area, and then the cell that we've been watching, this line of them, I guess I should say, offshore, is now over St. Pete, getting ready to cross the bridges. South St. Pete all the way over to Terra Verde. Of course, you can see just about everybody's got it. That means we go, where we go? To the Skyway. Let me get my cameras here. Sorry, guys. I think I need to change this source over here. Go to Rem 8. Oh, no, it was there. Look at that. Look how much better I-4 is right now in Polk City.
You can see it.
Jeez. I didn't even realize that's what it looked like at the time. Yeah, wow, much better there. Still slow. There's the Skyway right now. And that doesn't look too bad. But that rain's going to pick up here a little bit. There she is. Hey, it's
fun to be had.
It's raining.
I was going to say good
Oh, is
morning.
it? I couldn't
It's
tell.
raining.
It was a super dry drive on the way here.
Turn on your wipers.
Oh, not at all. Girl, they were on crank number 5, high speed.
Yeah.
It's like that weird,
Shakes the car when you get to the stoplight. The car's going like
you're
this.
like looking for the next setting and it won't go. It won't go up. Like, what the hell? I need more wipers.
Yeah. Have you noticed that though? When you're sitting at a light, you got it on high, like the car's like.
Yeah, it's like going crazy. Can you calm down, please?
All right.
No.
So yeah, it should be coming in there. So you missed all the fun, Autumn. We're just about done.
But you can have the rest.
You can have the rest. We'll let you.
Just make sure you guys don't want to, handle it for the rest of the day.
Yeah. I'd say this is a good day to work though if you're working because there's nothing to do outside.
Right. Great that you're just staying inside.
Yeah. We've definitely had some damage today. It's all wind reports. We've had a few.
Tarpon Springs area?
Yeah. We got to watch Polk County. I think Polk City and Lakeland. We had a fatality.
The
20
lightning strike? Okay.
No, 20-year-old female in Hernando.
Oh, the tree fell on her car?
The tree fell in the car and it knocked power lines down.
Oh,
And when she got out of the car, she was electrocuted.
oh, that's awful.
Yep. And that's what we heard. That was the initial report. Somebody's going up the road now to check that out. Yeah, just. There's been quite a bit of hail, although we haven't seen a whole lot of reports. Most of it's been small, pea to maybe penny size. And the rain's going to, today we're going to end up 2 to 4 inches. And yesterday we had 1.5 to 2.5. So just with the doctor order as far as that's concerned. Yeah. And what you're seeing here, the southern line is basically it for the severe weather. So
There's no more. Come on, then. No, go for it. Nothing else firing up out there?
no, not a lot. The atmosphere is just spent. They just extended just created, I should say, the severe thunderstorm watch.
Further south then?
Further south, all the way down to Miami.
Okay.
That's
So
still
this makes
eight.
sense.
Yeah, yep.
I didn't know why they did that. They didn't do that earlier.
It's to 8. That's right. That's right, Allie. And then
Are
they
we still included in that?
we are Pinellas, Hillsborough, Polk, southward. They've taken Pasto, Hernando, and Citrus out of the severe thunderstorm watch. And they'll probably what's going over. You hear right now what's going over our.
Yeah, it's starting to finally get some like south momentum with it.
Yeah.
Finally.
So it's as a result of it sitting there, southern Pinellas, southern Hillsborough, and northern Manatee is getting a lot of rain.
Yeah.
That's probably where we're going to see the most. We had a lot actually up in Citrus and northern Hernando earlier. But I think when this is all said and done, it's probably going to end up being higher rainfall totals there. All right, back over to the radar here, guys.
Are you live? It's really difficult.
Well, I think most of the stuff is updated. Andrew's been on top of everything.
Yeah, and just kicking butt.
There's been a lot going on in Polk County, and Susan's been in touch with the sheriff's office. So Daisy's out there, just sending stuff our way. So is that Polk? I guess, yeah. I think that's, I think she's been in the university area. That's the last place she went. I don't know if she's in my room, but I think she went to Lake. Western Lake. Oh, there you go. She answered me.
These are off. I was talking very consistently about this.
Yeah, they got a severe thunderstorm warning now over on the East Coast. You can see over towards Sebastian and Vero Beach for that storm, especially to the south.
Yeah, I just zoomed into that storm over there. I was like, that was intense.
Yeah, looks like they need to move that warning a little further to the south. Look at that, it quickly
Yeah,
jumps
it's
south.
pretty north there.
It's almost here
You guys
or
all
here,
You almost
but
got it.
right here.
Okay.
Just a bit
Who
outside.
was like, wait a minute. We
Just.
almost filled in the blank.
What was that? What do they call it from that baseball movie? Wild Thing. Just a bit outside. Bob Uecker is the best. All right. So here we go. The warning goes into till 2:15. What do we got that warning? It goes into. Let's see the warning. Have they let that expire? Yeah, they did. Yeah, it looks like they actually let that expire. Sorry, guys. I want to make sure I got it. Yep. Okay, so the warning now in Highlands County, Sebring area, has expired. All right, so no more severe thunderstorm warnings in our area. Just watches at this point. That's a marine warning for Lake Okeechobee that you see circled right there in the orange. So, having said that, I don't think, well, let's just say, the chances for severe weather are a lot lower now. The one thing we would be keeping an eye on in this area down in here, that's just going to be more heavy rain than anything else. I do want to keep an eye on this just because you've got this kind of lateral line here, and then you've got this more vertical line here coming together in here. So Bradenton and Sarasota, I just want to keep a quick eye on that. I don't see a lot of rotation, so that's good news. So here comes a new scan coming in right now. Let's look at this data. Yeah, that looks good. All right, so I'm going to go and leave this here. And let me make this full so you can see full screen. And I will be back here with Autumn here in just a little bit. Okay, guys, welcome back. Natalie and Autumn making fun of me being old.
You put yourself in that position.
I'm making fun of myself, yeah. Talking about the Muppets. I don't even know how that happened.
How different.
Don't you remember? I grew up.
Now we make Adam sound like a Muppet.
I grew up when there were. I grew up when there were 3 channels, and you watched what they put on TV. You know, that was it. And I would watch the Muppets, and I would watch Sha Na Na, the Barbara Mandrell sisters.
Do it right, Bobby. Do it right.
There's a lot of you out there know exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah. All right, let's get you back to the weather here, guys. There are no active warnings at this particular time. We do still have the severe thunderstorm watch box. They've taken Pinellas out of it. In fact, let me go over here. Nah, well, they haven't. Technically, they haven't. Bye, Natalie. Thank you for everything. Appreciate it. Good luck this week. Have fun. The storms that had left here are now over on the East Coast, and you can see they got severe thunderstorm warnings for those. But as you can see from this polygon here, they're going to be dropping it for Pinellas counties coming up here soon, and probably most of Hillsborough as well too. Radar-wise, the main area of concern, and even that's a very limited concern, is right in here. Right, it's right along the leading edge. So it's basically Sarasota County at this particular point. Although, having said that, Manatee County, we got some pretty decent rain coming through the area right now. Wind-wise, not seeing a whole lot, not seeing a lot of rotation. Very good news there. And I expect that, well, let me put this in motion for you. You'll notice that this is all sliding southward. I mean, this is just an hour, and this energy was up here, and now it's down here. See that? And so this should just continue and be down by Port Charlotte by about 3:15 or so. The rain will be there sooner, but I mean this main piece of energy. All right. So that's where we're at. All good news at this particular point as far as looking forward. Lots of power outages. They're aware of it. It depends on where you live now. They have a lot of those smart meters that they know when your power goes out, so you don't have to call all the time. But we had some incredible numbers. Autumn, I think there were like 7,000 to 8,000
In the state? Or just in our area?
in our area. I think 11,000 in Orlando. And just looking at, I guess I'm not looking at it because it won't show up. My computer's just giving out on me here. But the one thing I was left worried about here was what's exiting Highlands County now. So I think we're really good. Definitely going to be soggy the rest of the evening. Look at all this rain that's still offshore. Before sunset, we will get some breaks. And there could be a little bit of sun, but I doubt it. You see these storms that are sitting out here, they're making clouds, and those clouds are getting blown off just like that. So it's going to be pretty cloudy for the rest of the day. But again, can't rule out. We saw last night we had a decent sunset. It was pretty nice. Did you see that last night? It just dipped. Right as it got to the horizon, it just dipped right underneath the clouds. So it was really good color. But you can see where the strongest storms are. Now, let's go. I haven't showed you a lot. Oops, did I want to do that? Yeah. There you go, now you can see. Let's go and look at the forecast model. This is for this evening. There it is. Pretty good. It's way ahead of time, which it's been doing now. Look, that's 2:30. But it clears us out. Yeah, it is interesting. I don't know. Well, it's not going to do that. Let me get you down to another version of the model I want to show you here. Alright, I think this is the same one. Let me just show you this one more time. Yeah, so it just pushes it all out of here. That's tonight. And then tomorrow, look at that. That's when the actual front itself is really trying to come through. There's a small chance for some light showers with low clouds coming through. That's it. No severe weather at all. It's first thing in the morning, and then actually the sun will be coming out tomorrow afternoon. It's going to be a beautiful day. So the main threat is essentially over now. Is this the one I want to see here? No, that's definitely not it. Here's the bigger picture of all this moisture. Let me back up here. So that's what's coming through now. And it's basically out of here tonight. Isolated shower left in the morning tomorrow. Clearing. Beautiful day. This is Tuesday morning, Tuesday afternoon. Beautiful day on Tuesday. Look at that. High clouds come in Tuesday night into Wednesday. Wednesday, the model's been suggesting the rain stays to our north. This is Thursday afternoon. Better chance for rain Thursday and Friday. You can see, in fact, Friday might pick up just because it's coming a little bit further to the south. And we could be doing something similar Friday and Saturday, if not Thursday, Friday, and Saturday of this upcoming weekend. Severe weather threat, maybe not like what we just saw, but having a storm system slowly move through here, unfortunately, over the weekend, yeah, that's what next weekend looks like. Saturday looks worse than Sunday at this point, but this is still a ways off, so we got a lot to watch for those changes. But the pattern, let me show you this. You notice how it's just taken forever for this to get through here. That slow movement of it. That pattern is not going to change. What happens is usually these patterns repeat themselves like over a period of like 2 weeks. We can have 2 weeks, and so you'll have one thing happen 2 or 3 days, 4 or 5 days go by, and then you have it happen similar the next 2 or 3 days. And that's pretty much what we're going to be looking at with this particular pattern here too. This will clear out for tonight and tomorrow, and then Tuesday. Well, clear out tomorrow, and then Tuesday looks beautiful. I'm just about done here, Autumn. Get out of your hair.
Yeah, go home. Be free.
Be free.
Fly. Fly away.
I need to eat. I brought breakfast. I took one bite of it.
One of those days.
Yeah.
Is that what that is over there?
Yeah.
It's like, we were saying it's like a croissant.
It is. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I say it like that to make it taste better.
Teach me that.
Croissant.
Croissant.
That was beautiful.
So if I go to Dunkin', I say, can I have a ham, egg, and cheese croissant?
Yeah, and they're gonna present it to you, and it's gonna taste just way better than just giving you a croissant. A croissant.
I don't
Croissant.
spit in my food.
Look at a croissant. It's like, who do you think you are? Get out of here.
Like, hey, Earl, check out this guy at the drive-thru. He ordered a croissant.
Yeah, a croissant. Why would we have from Channel 10?
There's something not right with him.
I'm not right with that guy.
Yeah. He's got always interrupting the sports. Like to hear himself talk. How is the Skyway Bridge? Susie, so far as we know now, the Skyway is actually pretty good. In fact, let me take you down there. Let's go look at it live. Yeah, there it is right there. We got it through the router. It's on REM 7 or 8, I can't remember. And then you can punch it up here, 7 or 8. And in this thing here, you put in router. And then you route, whatever you have over there.
Looks pretty smooth, actually.
Yeah, it's actually looking really good. It's not much of an
No
issue.
one's out today, which
Yeah. We'll put the radar back up here. And I think, guys, we're going to bring this marathon Facebook Live to an end. Guys, I'm just watching this little bit of rotation here. I think we're good. And that's south of Venice now. That's really good. That's getting far south, so. So that's it, guys. I think we're going to go ahead. I'll get this loop up here for you a little bit. I'm going to start packing some things up here, and then we will cut this off. Of course, Autumn's in here now. No evening show, right? It's just
No,
11 o'clock because of golf?
Those are the Masters.
Because of the Masters. So, yeah, the Masters will be on all evening. But Autumn will be here. I just don't expect severe weather. If there is, that's the reason why I'm here. When we have severe weather threats, we put 2 Mets in here all the time, just to make sure, because there's a lot to do, right? And try and get the information out as quickly as possible and get the word out ahead of time. So we always double up our Mets for this type of situation. Now things are calming down. It's just kind of rain. So I think we're looking pretty good. We do not expect anything tonight severe. The rain, just a little bit of it tomorrow morning, will not be severe at all. And tomorrow afternoon and Tuesday are going to be beautiful.
Very nice.
Beautiful. What did the dew points do? I don't think they were dropping. Yeah, they are. Oh, yeah. Dew points, in the 60s. Mid-60s today will go mid-50s by tomorrow night and Tuesday. Low to mid-50s. So, yeah, you'll notice some drier air coming in.
It's gonna feel amazing.
Yeah, that is. Let's go.
Good.
What do we got? Upper 50s Tuesday morning, low 60s. We've been upper 60s to near 70 lately because it's been so warm and muggy last couple days. But by Monday night, Tuesday morning, we'll be in widespread 50s. So enjoy that. That's going to be nice. Okay, let me get the microphone turned off here and just get it onto the full side here. Here we go. And I'll come back and say goodbye before I go. But again, Autumn's here in the Weather Center. We'll be right back. Okay, guys, that's it from here in the Weather Center for me. I'm going to salvage the rest of this afternoon. Severe weather threats diminishing. The watch boxes should be dropping off as well too. You can see the strongest storms now are down south, and the amount of energy in the atmosphere, at least along that line right now, is a little bit lower. So we're looking pretty good there. Autumn is in the Weather Center here. She's going to keep an eye on it. She's also going to be watching for some minor flooding, because we do have some pretty decent rains, and we've had quite a bit, 2 to 4 inches of rainfall. And you can see the bigger picture shows that there's still a little bit of rain left over offshore, not a lot. There's actually going to be a little break here in about an hour or so if you're right along the coast. But there's still some storms that we have to keep an eye on out there further off west. I think we're fine though. So threat's just about over. You can see they're still trimming away that box that we had. They've got the severe thunderstorm watch box extending all the way down past Miami now at this point, and that one will stay fairly active, I think, through the day today, as they've been a lot warmer than what we have because they've had a lot more sunshine. So that's where we stand. Thanks everybody for watching. Don't forget our social media. You know, you've got my Facebook page, Bobby Deskin's Weather. You've got Autumn Robertson, her Facebook page. What's your tweeter?
My Twitter, Autumn KTVL. No, Autumn WTSP.
Autumn WTSP.
I don't work there anymore.
That would be hers. Mine is Bobby WTSP or Bobby D WTSP. I think it's just Bobby. Same thing for Instagram as well too. So hit all our socials up. Be careful, guys. Thank you for hanging out with us today. We really appreciate it. We hope everybody stays safe. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, even though it's going to be a little bit soggy. And stay tuned to 10 Tampa Bay. We'll keep you updated on if anything breaks weather-wise. And we've got a lot of crews out covering this. This story's not over yet because of all the rain coming through, but we had that fatality today. We're going to give you more details on that. We'll talk about some of the other damage that's happened throughout not only today, but yesterday as well too. All right, thanks guys for everything.